Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good stuff. And, of course, we got the Good Stuff crew in here today.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Starting off with Kimberly Ann Curran. Kimberly, how you doing today?
Hey guys, good morning. I'm doing great. It is not raining. I'm so happy.
It's the first time in like a week. It's not raining.
Yes.
And sitting beside her, the man who never rains.
Mr. Sunshine.
Mr. Sunshine.
The man.
Ray Orris here. He's going to be
everyone?
joining you guys in the live chat today. For those of you guys watching us live, he's going to be hanging out there in the live chat with you guys today. And of course, I'm John, and it's good to have you guys here. Guys, happy. I was just checking my email.
Uh-oh.
And breaking news, I'm happy to announce it's game day.
Oh my God.
Boba Fett starts tonight.
Oh man.
This is
Forgot my helmet.
This is my most anticipated Disney Plus show.
Yay.
I was always looking forward to Boba Fett. And then, a number of months ago, it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. Like as soon as the end of Mandalorian season 2 happened and they announced they're doing the book of Boba Fett, it's like, oh, that's going to be great. But then when I realized Favreau himself is writing it. And then you look at the lineup of the directors they have in there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb right now. I'm going to bet Boba Fett's going to be better than Mandalorian.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to bet Boba. Now, obviously,
Really?
we won't know until we watch. I may watch it tonight and go, well, that was shit.
Put money on it right now.
No, not putting any money on it. But think about it. Like, when Favreau came out and did Mandalorian, it was his first time out. Like getting into this world and doing that kind of stuff,
That's
right?
So crazy.
So I mean, obviously he's worked on I think he did some work on the Solo movie and whatever, but this was kind of his first foray into this. All he's done is gotten better. And now and what they did with Boba Fett in Mandalorian season 2 was so great. Now, sorry, we're going to talk about Boba Fett in a bit here, so I don't want to go off on a thing here.
So much to talk about.
But but it has gone so much under the radar. With all the Spider-Man hype, understandably, with with a Hawkeye being on Disney Plus at the moment, so obviously we're all talking about Hawkeye. So Boba Fett is very quietly sneaked up, but it is game day, and I'm very, very excited about that. And we're very excited that you guys are joining us here today. And here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break the show up into 2 parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. And then the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and your questions. Now, if you've got a comment, if you're watching live, and only if you're watching live, and you've got a comment, thought, opinion, observation about anything that we're talking about here today, go ahead and use the super chat feature in the YouTube chat live here and send that in, and we'll read those off once we get to the end of the main topics. If you got a question you'd like to send in for the show, and you don't even have to be watching this live. You can be watching this anytime 24/7. If you've got a question for the show, you can go down in the description of this video. You'll see a tip link there. Click on that or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your question read on this show or an upcoming companion video, if of course we deem your question appropriate to be used on our shows. And of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you guys so very much for your support. Also, guys, want to remind you that if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're commuting, maybe you're jogging, maybe you're at the gym, good news, there's an audio-only version of the show called the John Campea Show Podcast. It's available on all your favorite podcasting apps. Just go to your podcasting app, search for the John Campea Show, and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it. And thank you to everybody who's already subscribed to the John Campea Show. Okay, guys. Without any further ado, let's dive into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics on the John Campea Show? It's really simple. You guys come up with our main topics. See, whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Kim, what is our first main topic today?
All right, guys, this is coming from Ed Tuner. Hi, John, Kim, and Ray. I read earlier today that with the huge spike in Omicron cases, French movie theaters are taking the step of banning in-theater movie and drink. I guess that makes sense since you're handling things that who knows how many other people have handled. I hate the idea of not having popcorn, but I guess it'd be okay with it if it kept the movie theaters open. Do you think this will happen in the U.S., and do you think it can be effective?
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in. And look, it has been what's the name I'm looking for? What's the name of the big bad guy in Harry Potter?
Voldemort?
You're not supposed to say his name. It's the unspoken.
No.
Shh. But the Omicron thing
Scared the shit out of me.
has kind of been the unspoken thing that we don't really want to talk about.
No.
You know, we got Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters, busting box office records, seeing the movie theaters full again. Everybody's filled with happiness and joy and having so much fun. We don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about it. But the reality is, you know, I was reading the news earlier, and it's like 4 states in the U.S. are now recording all-time record highs in hospitalizations and stuff like that. And
Oh, man.
it's not an inevitable thing, but it's out there. We might be facing movie theaters being closed down again at some point, maybe. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have my booster shot yet. I'm getting that this week. I've been scheduled for a week and a half to go get it, so I'm getting my booster shot this week. But at any rate. So France is trying something interesting. France is trying an idea. Instead of just mandating closing the theaters, they're going to try what they can do to try to make the theaters as safe as they can. And they're implementing a rule, no food and drink. Now, just like the person who wrote in the message, I get it. That's actually a very simple, common sense thing to do, because once that cup gets handed to you, or that thing, I mean, who knows how many other hands have been on it and all that kind of stuff. And then you go to the soda dispensing machine, and you're pressing, the screen, I want my Coke Zero, and I want, how many other grimy, filthy fingertips have been, smudging on that thing. And so normally this is stuff we don't care about and I don't even think about. But if they're trying to do that, and I agree, this seems ridiculous, but if it keeps the theaters open, and I don't know if it will, or I don't know if this will be effective, I have no idea, but I applaud the idea of trying other steps before just like closing the theaters down. I applaud that. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at Cineblend that write the following. The Omicron variant is certainly a concern in the United States too. According to the New York Times, as of December 24th, the 7-day national average of new daily COVID cases jumped to 197,000, a 65% jump over the past 2 weeks. This has resulted in airlines being forced to cancel thousands of flights in response to the highly transmittable variant, so one wouldn't be faulted for wondering if movie theaters stateside could follow in France's footsteps by banning concessions, despite the fact that many see things like popcorn and soda as essential to the theatrical experience. And I will say, I am one of those.
No.
I am one of those. To me, going into the theater, I never eat popcorn. I don't eat popcorn unless I'm at the movie theater. The moment I walk through those doors, my mouth, it's a Pavlovian response. My mouth starts to water. Even if I'm not thinking about it, my mouth starts to water because it's just an automated response in me now. I'm going to have popcorn, also known as a butter delivery device. I'm going to get that popcorn. I'm going to drench it in
popcorn
butter.
in your butter.
Oh, what I do, you know what I even do? Here's what I do. Besides my straw trick, sometimes the type of dispensers that have don't, or they don't have big enough straws in a lot of theaters to use my straw trick. Do you know my straw trick?
I think I saw you use it when we went
Yes,
to
that's
Spider-Man.
right.
I was like, why?
So my straw
and
trick,
what is happening?
which a lot of people started to copy, which is good. I'm glad to spread the good news of this. But basically, you get your popcorn, right? Then you get your straw. You put your straw near, not at the bottom, but near the bottom of your popcorn. And then you put the other end of the straw against the butter dispenser. And then you dump butter into the top of the straw. And then as butter is being distributed to the bottom, you start to lower the container. So now butter is being distributed evenly, a good buttery balance.
Man.
Such a
Life
science.
Sounds like an infomercial.
Life is about buttery balance, Ray. It's all about buttery balance.
You need your butter straw.
I need my
That's
butter
the butter straw, the official John Campea.
That's right.
Butter
You can
straw.
buy. That's the new merch in the store. The official John Campea. Because sometimes movie
His
theaters.
contribution to America.
That's right,
And
our
American nastiness.
Now,
yeah.
here's the problem. A lot of times the straw isn't big enough in some movie theaters. So what I will even do is I'll get my large popcorn. I will dump out a quarter of it just so I can drench the top with butter,
Disgusting.
then give the popcorn a good shake to rotate the butter, then drench the top again. It's all about the butter, okay?
Such a science.
The point is,
The butter science guy.
point I am trying to make is that the idea of going to the movies and not having popcorn is unfathomable to me.
It's a ritual.
It's a part of the ritual. It's a part of that experience. That I get my Diet Coke or my Coke Zero, and I'm good to go. But would I rather them do that or close the movie theater? I mean, I would rather them try that. And again, there's no guarantee that's going to change anything. The one thing I would hope, and I don't know if anybody's going to agree with me on this. I understand movie theaters having a rule, and I always respect the rule of no bringing in outside food. And my wife tries to do it all the time. She probably got it from you, Ray, but your sister will always try to sneak in food in the theater.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, baby, no, we don't do that.
The Ziploc lined purse.
See, I go, yeah, yes.
Because
That's
here's
exactly
the thing.
it.
There's my daily purse that's like, oh, this is so cute. And there's my movie theater purse, which you line with a saran wrap or a large Ziploc bag.
That's right. So the first thing that happens when she does that, when I see that she's trying to sneak in food,
Yes,
I go,
Anne,
no, honey, we do not do that. And then the next thing that happens is Anne looking at me and saying, are you sure you want to be raising your finger to me? And then I rethink my life choices and I lower my finger. I go,
Rewind
baby, I go, baby, we don't sneak in food into the movie theaters. And she gets always disgruntled when she does it. So but I would hope if they implemented this here. And by the way, I haven't heard any talk of AMC, Regal, Landmark, anybody talking about this. But if they did, I would hope they would say to their audiences, hey, we are easing the rules about no outside food. Now, you want to bring in your own food, bring in your own food. So, I mean, I don't know.
I'm bringing a grill inside. We're going to make this. We're going to see how easy.
Ray's going to be like tailgating in the foyer of the movie theater.
Tri-tip?
It's burnt tri-tip. He's going to have this whole barbecue going on. I don't know. Question is for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think about this? I mean, look, no one is jumping up and down saying this is the solution. But what do you think about France trying to do something other than shutting down the theaters by saying, hey, you know what, we're going to restrict that? Is it a good move? Is it something at least you're glad they're trying? Do you think that's something that could come here? Who knows? Question is, guys, whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Kim, what is our second main topic today?
All right, everyone. This comes from James Argenta. Recently, Robert Rodriguez said everything in the Book of Boba Fett promotion materials is from the first episode of the series. This makes me wonder if Lucasfilm is hiding any
Big surprises!
in the first few episodes. Good timing. With the series starting tomorrow, what are your expectations for the show and any big surprises you think will appear? Mine is Kira, Emilia Clarke's character from Solo, will be an antagonist in the series.
It's game day.
Game day.
Day. I'm so excited tonight. I mean, for those of us on the West Coast, tonight at midnight is for those of you on the East Coast, it's 3 a.m., whatever that time that is for you guys around the world. But tonight is Boba Fett launches. I am so excited for this. I am giddy. I literally woke up this morning giddy. It's like I'm going to get to watch Boba Fett tonight. I'm so stoked for this. Okay. So, by the way, it's not just that all the stuff, they didn't just say all the stuff from the trailers is stuff from the first episode. It's all the stuff we see in the trailers from the first half of the first episode. Which is telling me this is probably going to move pretty quick. I mean, if that's true. I mean, it may not be true.
That's a lot of
But
surprises.
if it's true, this is going to move pretty quick. So, what are we expecting to see out of Boba Fett? Let's start with the theory that he has there about Emilia Clarke's Kira. The big problem, of course, with that theory, because listen, I really like Solo. I thought Solo was a good, fun space adventure movie. It was totally a movie that shouldn't have been made, but they made it, and they made a pretty good one. And the way it ended definitely gave you the sense that, Kira could be somebody we see pop up more in the world. Of course, the problem, though, is timeline. Solo takes place how many years? I can't even remember how many years before A New Hope. Boba Fett takes place probably now six or 7 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. So there's a good period of time lost there. But not enough time that you couldn't have Kira. You still could. Mm-hmm. I'm not expecting it. It's a possibility. I'm just saying I'm not expecting it. I think they're going to make this, because I don't know if you guys know this, but they had talked for a lot of years about this. I can't remember what the name of it was going to be, but a gritty underground crime, underground crime world kind of Star Wars show. They talked about it for like 20 years. And I think part of that is what John Favreau is trying to resurrect here. So I think they're going to probably play it pretty close to the vest, and they're going to play it pretty tight. I don't think you're going to see characters from all across the Star Wars universe coming across here. I mean, they might. I'm just saying it's just not what I'm guessing. What I'm expecting to see is the godfather of the Star Wars universe. I'm expecting to see, yes, there's going to be some great action, but I think it's going to be more Marlon Brando than it's going to be John Wick. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I'm expecting more Marlon Brando, Vito Corleone, than I am expecting to see Keanu Reeves, John Wick. Although, again, I think we're getting a lot of badass action. By the way, Tamora Morrison, have you seen him?
How old is he?
Okay, first of all, in Mandalorian, they had to pad out the Boba Fett armor a little bit. Like, Tamora was not in the best shape of his life. He was looking like he was carrying around, his winter weight a little bit. Mm-hmm. But then I saw some images of him like prepping for Boba Fett as like, this dude got in real good shape. He got in real, he's not looking like Chris Hemsworth. I'm not saying he looks like Chris Hemsworth or anything, but he got himself in really, really good shape. So I expect to see some good action. We're going to see some kicking ass and stuff like that. But I'm expecting to see, again, more of that underworld crime drama. First of all, my favorite line in the trailer so far is just hearing the way he says it. Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich? I'm like, oh, see, I love this show already. Like, I'm already in love with the show, and all we've had is this damn trailer. Ray, look, I know, you don't like staying up till midnight. but where's your, and I know it's nowhere near as high as mine, but are you looking forward to Boba Fett?
It all depends on this first episode, but I do predict one thing. I don't do characters like the cameos or who could possibly appear, but my prediction is pain. I think we're going to see a lot of...
Okay, Clubber Lang.
We're going to see a lot of armor shattering.
Yeah.
If they can, with the blaster play. I think it's going to be more John Wick, to be honest, than Godfather.
I think there's definitely going to be moments of John Wick.
I hope to see a character like the armor, but creates blasters like crazy. Right. Other than that, I hope we see some cool jetpack.
Jetpack,
duels or whatever. Yep. And that's all I'm looking forward to. The arsenal he has is what excites me about this show. I may not know a lot about the character, but just what he uses to get stuff done.
Very little people know very much about Boba Fett.
And with that staff he used in Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, which is so cool.
That's going to be even more brutal. I think we're going to hear a lot of backs breaking in this show.
If you go back to that episode in Mandalorian when they really unleashed him, he was wrecking people.
He doesn't need anything. He can pick up anything off the ground and probably murder you with it.
Yeah, he was doing a lot. What about you, Kim? Where's your expectation level right now?
If I see a pencil, I'm going to freak out. I'm really excited. Tamora Morrison is such a presence. He's like, he's such a commanding, like, just that manly.
Even an Aquaman.
Yeah. He reminds me of Delroy Lindo. Like, he's just got that
that's a great
dude,
comparison.
that
I love
man kind of feel to him. I'm excited for what he's going to bring. And Ming-Na.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, the great Ming-Na.
I love her so much. And for me, I never read any Star Wars books. So every time there's something new of Star Wars, I love learning about this world. I so enjoy the world building. And Boba Fett for what I've learned in Star Wars, he's been such a mystery. And there's just something so sexy about uncovering a mystery of a strong, heroic, mischievous man. And I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just completely obsessed. And now look, we may watch the first episode and it may be utter tripe. I mean, it might be awful.
Oh God, I hope
He's
not.
61 years old.
I hope not.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, 61 years old.
61 years old, yeah.
Justine in the chat.
Man.
You know, by the way, you know who turned, total side note, you know who turned 50 this past weekend?
Who?
If you say Macaulay Culkin, I'm just going to walk out.
No, I might just cry if that's the case. Morbius, Jared Leto.
Wow.
Turned 50 this past weekend.
So he's going to be 49 next year then, and then 48
Yeah,
and
then
47.
48.
That's what it looks like.
That's how it goes with guys like
anyway,
that.
all I know is tomorrow.
Shut up.
Tomorrow looks great.
Oh,
He
God.
sounds great. I'm so
Sounds
stoked
great.
for Boba Fett.
I'm glad he cares about the character that much where he got in shape. Like, because if he
yeah.
didn't care about your role, he would have stayed the same. But, you know, you're always happy to hear that someone cares enough about a character that much where they would go through all that work to actually
To get themselves
Yeah,
in
to
fight
make it
shape
right.
for
Yep.
Yep. The question is for you guys. What do you think about this? How excited are you for Boba Fett? Listen, I think for a lot of people, it's just flown under the radar. Totally understandably so. If you're someone like me, you've been keeping your eye on it. Whatever you guys are feeling about game day today, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Kim, what is our third main topic today?
Okay, this comes from Kylo Ken. According to the Screen Rant, the Batman will be hitting HBO Max on April 19th. That only gives the film a little over 6 weeks of a theatrical run. Is this a mistake? Will a theatrical run, if only a month and a half, hurt the potential box office? Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Kylo. And listen, one of the things that we knew, first of all, one of the dumbest decisions in Hollywood history, one of the most catastrophic disasters for any studio was Warner Brothers' moronic decision to make all of their 2021 films day-and-date releases on HBO Max. An experiment that has utterly failed and has cost that company in the hundreds of millions of dollars and hasn't really done much for HBO Max at all in the first place. With all those big movies they released, what was it that became their number one subscriber draw? Sex in the City. It's funny because it's true.
It is.
And it's
so
100% true. So here we are now going into 2022, and they're no longer doing the day-and-date release. However, as a result of the pandemic, the new norm in the movie industry, it used to be a 90-day theatrical window. Theatrical window, for those who don't know, basically means from the day that a movie opens in theaters, they have an agreement with the theaters that it will not go to any form of home video for at least 90 days after its opening day in theaters. That's what's called the theatrical window. And it is a model that has made a lot of people very rich over the years. It has made the movie companies rich. It's made the distributors rich. It's made the theaters at least be able to keep their doors open. It's made everybody a lot of money. Now, for a long time, distributors have wanted to shorten the theatrical window, and the pandemic has kind of forced everybody's hand. So we now have a brand new theatrical window standard, which is going to be 45 days. There are some exceptions to that. Now, that doesn't mean that a movie will come out on home video after 45 days. It just means that the distributor has the option of putting it out on home video after 45 days is done. So what's happening here is we know that Batman is coming out, and we know now exactly when it's going to be on HBO Max. This comes just from the folks over at Screen Rant who write, speaking to Vox's Recode via comic book, Killar, that's the CEO of Warner Brothers right now, Jason Killar, revealed that the film will debut on HBO Max on April 19th, 2022. The Batman will join DC's selection of movies and films 46 days after its release, after a 45-day theatrical exclusive window. Killar called the decision a huge change when compared to the company's release schedule in previous years from 2016 to 19. Think about when movies would show up on HBO, which is 8 to 9 months after the theatrical premiere. The Batman is going to show up on day 46 on HBO Max. That is a huge change from where things were in 2018, 2017, 2016. So basically, we've got Batman opening up in theaters in early March, and then 46 days later, in mid-April, it's going to come out on HBO. this is not a surprise. This is the new 45-day window. However, what other studios have the intelligence to do is to say, let's see how this is going before we decide exactly when we're going to debut this on streaming. Spider-Man No Way Home, for example, is making money hand over fist.
Oh, gosh.
Every day they leave that in theater before it going to streaming, they are making more money. And so, I mean, I have nothing official. They may very well on day 46 put Spider-Man No Way Home out on streaming. But I'm going to bet they won't. I'm going to bet they're going to draw that out as much as they can and make as much money as they can before putting it on streaming and then making more money off of it. This, to me, is Jason Kilar desperately still trying to figure that, hey, the faster we just put this on HBO Max, the better. That hasn't worked. You've had a year and a dozen plus movies that have shown that doesn't work. But it is still after the 45-day window. And I do think we're going to see a lot of movies doing this. So I think if Batman doesn't do well at the box office, then sticking to the day 46 is perfectly fine. If Batman is still rolling after 6 weeks and still pulling in $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million a week, then you postpone putting it on HBO Max. You continue until that dries up a little bit more, gather as much profit as you can, and then put it on HBO Max and gain that benefit from it there. And he's right. This is a game changer from when you'd have to wait like 8 months to a year for a movie to come out on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. And that was too long of a time. So this is a good change. I think they're just gonna have to wait to see how it actually does. And then we'll go. But it sounds like Jason Kilar is like, nope, doesn't matter how good Batman's doing in theaters. We're putting it on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons why, by the way, the moment Discovery takes over Warner Brothers, Jason Kilar's out the door. I mean, everybody knows that. The first person that's gone is going to be Jason Kilar. And I think he knows that. But at any rate, I think it's perfectly fine, though. To be honest with you, it's a 45-day window. That is going to be the new standard. I think he should leave himself some flexibility just in case Batman's doing really well to then push that off a little bit. But I don't know. You know, it's the 45-day window, so nothing news here. Did you take anything away from this, Kim?
You know, I mean, streaming is the Wild West, and this is trial and error, and you have streaming growing plus a pandemic. So for this new frontier, there's been a lot of challenges, a lot of bumps in the road. I mean, if I were to play devil's advocate and say, look, Warner Brothers thought we'd be shut in for a year, and they tried to make the best plan possible. Turned out that wasn't the case. This is not a great situation. A lot of films have been screwed. But I feel like as streaming finds its way, this is one of those things that's either going to be proved to be a good idea or let's not go this way. I prefer let's see how this goes. And then I will tell you when we're putting it on streaming because I want to see how the market's going. And not just that, the pandemic. We've got so many elements. So it's a trial and error period. And I think they might find this was a mistake. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, it might be perfectly fine. I mean, you never know. I mean, it is exciting, though, that we are this close to Batman coming out. I am very, very excited about this.
I'm starting to get really, like, now that Spider-Man is, like, not done, but now that I've seen it 3 times, my energy is finally dispersing. I'm no longer the little kid that's... My energy, I'm excited for Boba Fett. I'm super excited for Batman. And I'm like, oh, I can now like look to the future.
We can now start getting excited about what's coming down the road. Like the Batman, for example.
For some strange reason, I think his plan will work better for me only because that 45 days, that's too long to wait to see a movie like this for me. So I'm going to the theater.
Right, yeah.
But the way it works against him is that I know it's coming on HBO Max. So after I see it the first time, I won't get a second ticket. I'll just wait for it to get them to see. So it works in both ways. But, you know, who knows if I was even going to plan on seeing it, you know, a second time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of people. Like, look, comic book movie fans, they're not going to wait 45 days.
No way.
No.
Comic book movie fans are going to go to the theater. The question becomes, do they go back to the theater 3 or 4 times to see it when they know now, now I've only got 4 weeks to wait for it to be out on HBO and then get it for free and give no more money to Warner Brothers. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see but I think it's still going to have, like, this won't affect its opening weekend at all. This isn't going to affect Batman's opening weekend, opening week. It's not because a lot of people who want to go see this, they're not going to wait 6 weeks to watch it on HBO Max. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of long-term things this have. All right, anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? We know the new theatrical window is 45 days, and Jason Clark saying, okay, great, day 46, here comes Batman on HBO. Good move, bad move, whatever, who cares? I'm just excited to see the Batman. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Kim, what is our 4th main topic today?
All right, this comes from Benny McHale. He says, hi, John. I was reading a report that said Tom Holland could go from making around $1 million per film to over $10 million a film after Spider-Man No Way Home. If you're running a movie studio right now, do you pay Holland that much when profit margins are so low on movies right now? Holland doesn't really have any other hits other than Spider-Man. Is he worth that much? Thoughts?
It's a good question, Benny. That's a good question. Now, look, any of you guys who watch this show, you know I'm a big Tom Holland fan. I think this kid's great. I think he's got a lot of talent. I don't think he's made the best choices in which projects to be involved in at this point, other than Spider-Man. That was a pretty good choice. Not that there was much of a choice there. I mean, I think every actor in the world wanted that role, but he got it. And, you know, he signed deals for what he was worth at the time. And now there are reports coming out that this guy's lined up to receive a massive pay bump for what he's going to be able to demand. The question is he worth it? Now, I'm going to try very hard here to take out of the equation the fact that I'm a Tom Holland fanboy, okay? I'm going to try to take that out of the equation and just try to look at this on the basis of cold, hard facts and just be objective as I can. But like I said, I am admitting up front, I am a big fan of his. So that being said, let's go over and take a look at something that the Variety is writing. They're saying, according to sources familiar with similar negotiations, Tom Holland's asking price should leap into the low 8 figures. That's in the now tens of millions of dollars. Prior to Spider-Man, he would earn under $1 million for film roles. Now, he could be making $2 to $5 million for independent movies and anywhere from $5 million to $10 million for a leading role in traditional studio commercial films. Holland was recently considered for an ensemble part in an A-list director's latest film, and though the deal didn't close, he could have secured $1 million for a small part in a tentpole film. The question is, how much is Tom Holland worth now? Because let's be honest with you. Let's be honest here. Spider-Man films are going to be great because Kevin Feige's running them. John Watts directed them. They just needed to get a good actor to play Peter Parker. And I am not trying to undermine the contributions Tom Holland's made to Spider-Man. Not at all. But Tom Holland won the lottery by being given that role. Because there were thousands of other people lined up to get it, and probably 50 of them were probably as talented as Tom Holland. But they gave it to him, so he kind of won the lottery. And of course, the Spider-Man movies have been big, massive hits. And he definitely contributed to that. He is a great Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. He's a great Spider-Man. But is he himself worth $10 million a picture? That's where it starts to get a little hazy. Because outside of Spider-Man and the Marvel money machine, the viewer is right. He has no hits. You go back and you start looking at Chaos Walking. That movie, I think, made under $30 million. It might have just made in the 20s. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can... Ray, can you look up Chaos Walking for me? Sure. And get the overall box office total from us? See if you can grab that from Box Office Mojo. But I think it might have just made in the 20s. Overall. Like, not opening weekend. I think it made in the 20s total. Then he did that little streaming film, Devil All the Time, which had some people talking about it before it came out, but nobody talks about Devil All the Time.
Delusions.
You're talking about opening?
Yeah, no, overall. It's overall worldwide.
13 million.
What?
Oh, wait. All right, 26 million.
$26 million.
456, yeah.
Yeah, $26 million that made. So is Tom Holland And by the way, it's a sci-fi film, Chaos Walking. It also had, Daisy Ridley in it, who is also not a box office draw. I like Daisy Ridley, not a box office draw. Devil All the Time. Ray, do you have any recollection of anybody writing in and asking about Devil All the Time or talking about Devil? Kim, do you have any recollection of people writing in comments or anything and talking about Devil All the Time? Nobody talks about it. Came and gone.
Yeah.
Cherry looked really good. It was not very good. No. Tom Holland gave a good performance in it. He's a talented dude. Ray, do you remember anybody ever writing in to talk about Cherry? No?
No.
Yeah. Kim, do you remember anybody ever writing in to talk about Cherry?
No. I
don't either. I mean, maybe they did. I just have no recollection of anybody talking about that. Then there's Doolittle. Now, granted, he was just a voice in Doolittle.
Oh my God, you're going to Doolittle. Oh my God.
Not going to hold Doolittle against him. But I mean, yeah, as you go down the list, it's like he was pretty good in Lost City of Z. He was really good, but nobody talks about Lost City of Z, nor was it a big moneymaker.
You know what's funny, John, is half of the films that I actually think Tom Holland was good in, I didn't go see it because his name was on there. Like I most of the time I'm surprised, oh, he's in this? But yet he acts his ass off.
He's
you know what I mean?
Very talented.
Talent-wise, I believe he's worth every penny.
Right. Yep.
But if you're trying to make money, I don't know. Other than Spider-Man,
Right. So I mean, this is look, I'm not piling on Tom Holland here. I'm a big fan. You've heard me talk about Tom Holland on the show. I think he's great. But is he worth $10 million? In a world, like the person who wrote in asked, in a world where profit margins now on movies are so razor thin, and a $10 million paycheck to one person can be the difference between your movie flopping or making a little bit of money, you got to make sure if you're paying out that kind of cash to somebody, that they're going to be somebody who brings in the bacon. We talked about Doolittle. Just so happens that had the actual star of Doolittle, Robert Downey Jr. Everybody thought, oh, he's worth $50 million. And then he does The Judge, and nobody watches it. And then he does Doolittle, which there's really nothing left for us that we need to say about Doolittle. And then we all start to double guess ourselves. Like, wait a minute, is Robert Downey Jr. actually worth that much? Or is the MCU character Tony Stark worth that much?
Yeah.
And so I'm just throwing that out there. Is he that? Now, I believe the answer to this question will not be known if Tom Holland is actually worth $10 million. Because right now, I'm sorry, guys, there's no disputing it. I don't care how big of a fan I am of his. I am. You take Spider-Man out of the equation, there is no way anybody on this planet says Tom Holland is worth $10 million a picture. He hasn't shown at all any ability to draw in an audience. And yeah, he won the lottery by getting into the MCU and working with John Watts and Kevin Feige and stuff like that. And that propelled his portfolio and his profile. Absolutely. And I'm glad they did. But you take away Spider-Man, what are you left with? You're left with a very talented young man, and there's 10,000 of those in Hollywood, maybe 1,000 of those in Hollywood. But here's where the answer is going to come, I believe. The one word. There's a one-word answer for this that will actually tell us if Tom Holland is worth $10 million or not. And that one word, anybody want to guess it? I'm going to look in the live chat. Anybody know what the one word is that's going to answer this question as to whether or not Tom Holland
Uncharted
is actually, that's it.
Yep,
Uncharted.
Had to be it.
That's the word.
Yeah, because if he breaks out of that Spider-Man mold.
Yes.
Because that's what everyone has a problem with in the MCU. When Chris Hemsworth tried to do it, then we saw
Black Hat.
Yeah.
We got Black Hat.
And it didn't matter if the movies were good, because I heard The Judge was good too. That was a good movie.
I personally liked The Judge. I did. I like The Judge.
So it's the Marvel effect, I think. And I hate to blame it on something, but yeah, I don't know. But
it is. It's Uncharted. Because here's the thing. Uncharted now, this is a brand new franchise. It's a franchise film. Can Tom Holland show us that he can now jump or swing into a new...
Or crawl wherever may your fancy. Crawl.
Can he swing into a new franchise and establish himself in that franchise and carry that franchise to some success? Because if he can't, if he goes into Uncharted and Uncharted flops and people don't care about it all that much and people aren't drawn to it just because of his name and blah, 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 I'm going to sit here and tell you right now that $10 million, if I'm a studio executive, as much as I would love to have Tom Holland in one of my movies, I'm not cutting him a check for $10 million. But if he can come into Uncharted and delight the audiences and have a pretty good showing for itself, well, now suddenly people don't just look able to separate him from Spider-Man. Now we can look at him as Nathan Drake. Now we can look. So now he's got 2 franchises going. And at that point, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm a studio head, I'm like, well, this guy did Spider-Man and people know him as Spider-Man, and he went into another action franchise and was able to lead that. Doesn't even have to be a huge hit. It just made it to being profitable and established a new franchise. If I'm a studio head at that point, I'm like, yes, we will tie up $10 million into this guy to get him in our next picture. But I honestly don't think it's a question that we can answer until we find out exactly what he's bringing to the table as far as Uncharted goes. I don't know. What do you think, Kim?
I really think it's about that level of salary requires being the leader and carrying a franchise. It makes me think about Chris Pratt, who went from our favorite lumpy, dumpy Andy Dwyer, our lovable guy. And then I remember watching Zero Dark 30 and going, wait a minute, is that Andy Dwyer? And he quietly beefed himself up, and he was in something that was incredibly, monumentally serious, a film about capturing bin Laden. And then he went to Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he went to Jurassic freaking Park. Right. And now, like the what was the one on Amazon?
Tomorrow War.
The Tomorrow War.
That was great.
Honestly, I love sci-fi, but I wanted to see Chris Pratt in something else. I like seeing him because he's a presence. And Tom Holland, he's a great actor. He seems like a wonderful guy. He is by far my favorite Spider-Man out of all of them. He truly, truly is. But do you have the leadership to carry a franchise? Do you have the leadership to sell the tickets? Because I'll tell you right now, and I hate to compare because comparison is the killer of art, but when I think of Chris Pratt, I go to see his charm. It's like Ryan Reynolds. I want to be charmed by him. It's like a friend that you like. I want to see that guy in different vignettes. And I'm not sure, like you said, with Uncharted, that's the way we're going to be able to tell. Does he have the leadership to carry a franchise? Because I remember in the mid-2000s, remember when Matthew McConaughey and guys were breaking out of the rom-com scene and they were going into deeper, way more serious things, and they were raking in these incredible paychecks. But you thought of it and said, you know what? I went to see this movie with all my girlfriends. It was a total chick flick, and I went to see him. And now he's in the spy thriller, and I went to see him. And now he's in this comic book thing, and I went to see him. How many different areas can you shine and lead? That is what's going to lead you into a $10 million paycheck.
Yeah, now he's got that Fred Astaire flick coming up that I'm very excited
yes,
that
I'm
he
excited they picked him, and I want to see him do that.
That's not going to be a box office monster, but still, it's going to be really just another opportunity for him to show off his talents. Yeah. But yeah, I just think right now, yeah, he's got Spider-Man, but then you got to ask the question, would Spider-Man really have suffered if they got another actor in that role who is also very talented and played the role well? Would Spider-Man No Way Home have done a lot worse? And then we look at the films he's done outside. He's shown he has talent, but can he do that? So I think Uncharted is really going to give us answers.
Uncharted will tell, and I think he needs to do something a little bit. I know Cherry was very edgy, but I really want to see him in a more serious ensemble cast.
Well, it wasn't
except
just Cherry.
I know not Marvel.
Right.
I can hear people right now. What Endgame's not.
He's shown he can do that.
Yeah, but I want to see him in something a little bit more office political thriller, a little bit different. The adventure genre is wonderful for him because of his physicality.
Sure.
But I want to see him in the office. I want to see him maybe as a lobbyist or an attorney opposite someone else that we love. I want to see him. Jessica Chastain, again, I'm thinking of Chris Pratt, but I want to see someone that elevates his acting to that next level where you're like, he was good, but damn, is he great. Then let's talk about $10 million.
Well, again, to me, it's not even, unfortunately, the reality is in Hollywood, your paycheck isn't really determined just by how talented you are.
No, it's not.
It's determined by can that talent then translate into drawing audiences into your theaters and propelling your thing to success. And again, that's why, once again, I'll go back to Uncharted. I think if he does it with Uncharted, I think he's going to earn that money. If he doesn't, I think it draws into question. Anyway, the question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think Tom Holland right now, given the success of Spider-Man, but the lack of commercial success with other stuff, do you think that justifies Tom Holland right now being a $10 million guy? Maybe yes, maybe no. Do you think, like me, that we really got to wait to see what happens with Uncharted, but that should answer the questions? Maybe you think it's going to take more than that. Whatever you guys are feeling on this issue, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we're going to have a little bit of fun right now.
Oh, yeah.
It is time for a little game of over-under. And Ray, do you have over there what is on the line for over-under?
Oh,
do you have that?
Oh, yeah, I do have it.
He's got it. He's going to find it. Hold on a second. He's pulling it up. Here it comes. This is what's on the line for over-under. We've got this Michael Scott full Funko office set with Michael Scott and his office in there, which we are very, very excited about. We're going to be giving this away today. And a little bit earlier, I jumped onto the community tab of our YouTube channel, and I told people, hey, who wants to be a contender for this? Write in, tell me that you want to be one of the contenders, and tell me if you're Team Ray or Team Kim.
Uh-oh.
So we have now selected them. Here we got representing Team Ray.
How long did you have to find this person?
Jason Boyer, our viewer, Jason Boyer, wrote in saying he is Team Ray. So, Ray, you are going to be competing today for Jason Boyer. And writing in today, requesting to be Team Kim, was Maria Manuela Athady. So, Maria Manuela Athady is going to be represented by Team Kim. So, here's how it's going to go. We're going to play, since everything is about Spider-Man No Way Home right now, we're going to play a little bit of Spider-Man themed over-under. Here's how it goes. We have 7 questions. Every question is going to have an over and under. If your answer, Kim and Ray, is over, raise your hand with a toy in your hand. If your answer is under, raise your hand without any toy in your hand. That'll let us know what your answer is. After 7 questions, whoever has more points wins, and the Michael Scott toy goes to that person you're representing, either Jason or Maria. So if you guys are ready, let's get into it, shall we? And we're going to start with question number 1. Remember, these all are kind of Spider-Man themed questions. All right, we're going to start with this. I'll bring this one up here. Question number 1. The number of Oscar nominations Benedict Cumberbatch, who of course plays Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, has, over or under 1.5. And you know what? I blew it because I accidentally put the answer right there in the question. Under. I already blew it. I already totally blew the whole game.
Dude.
Because I put the answer right on screen.
Game day.
Game day. Oh, we're off to a rough start.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the answer.
This is the easiest game I've ever been a part of.
I love
the easiest
this game.
This game is so simple. I've already completely ruined it. But here we
Make
go.
sure the rest don't do that.
So yeah, well, but just for you guys know, the number of Oscar nominations Benedict Cumberbatch has, over under 1.5. The answer was, of course, under.
And that would have been toy without a toy, right?
Yes, that would have been
Okay.
Okay, so
That was a
Ray's got
practice
their hands
round.
up without a toy.
He just didn't know it's a practice round.
It was a practice round. So the answer was under. Benedict Cumberbatch's only Oscar nomination was for the 2014 film The Imitation Game. All right, which he could get one this year though.
Maybe.
For the noise of the dog,
Power of the dog.
Power of the dog. The noise of the dog.
He should just get an award for his name.
The noise of the dog. All right, let's try this again, shall we? Now there are 6 questions.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Now your actual first question.
Okay. Careful with those buttons, bro.
Spider-Man themed. Here we go. Question. Number of Emmy nominations for lead actor Benedict Cumberbatch has, over under 4.5. So the number of best lead actor Emmy nominations that Benedict Cumberbatch has, over under 4.5. And we will have your answers in 3, 2, 1. Raise your hands. Ray is going under 4.5. Kimberly is going over 4.5. Let's go over and see what the answer is. The answer is
my God.
Over. Benedict Cumberbatch has 6 nominations for Best Lead Actor and with 1 win in 2014 for Sherlock Holmes. The answer was over. And Kim races into the lead.
That's already a good thing.
Kim races into the lead. All right. Kim is ready to go. All right, let's move on to question number 2 here. And we do invite you guys at home to play along, of course. In our Spider-Man over-under game here today, question number 2 is this. Number of Oscar nominations Jamie Foxx, Electro. Number of Oscar nominations Jamie Foxx has, over or under 1.5. Number of Oscar nominations Jamie Foxx has, over or under 1.5. And we will have your answers in 3, 2, 1. Raise your hands. Kim is going over. Ray is going under. And the answer is over.
Oh.
Jamie Foxx was nominated in 2004's Collateral and won also in 2004 for Ray.
For
Ray.
For Ray.
Ray.
Yay, Ray.
This is not for what's my guy's name? Jason?
Jason. Yes, your guy's name is Jason.
Oh, I'm getting slaughtered here.
It ain't over yet. It ain't over
There
yet.
are 4 questions to go. Kim has a commanding lead, 2-0. Commanding lead. All right. We go back now into question number 3 as I get it all
Call me
lined
the
up
commander.
here.
It's okay. It's all good.
All right. Question
Take
number
it.
3 is this. Also Spider-Man themed. Number of Oscar nominations The Goblin, Willem Dafoe has. Over or under 5.5. Number of Oscar nominations that The Goblin, Willem Dafoe, has. Over or under 5.5. And your answers in 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. Kim is going under. Ray has the Spider-Man toy. He's going over. And the answer is under.
Oh.
Willem Dafoe has 4 Academy Award nominations for Platoon, Shadow of the Vampire, The Florida Project, and At Eternity's Gate.
You know how I'm playing this, right? I'm having to pick every opposite answer of you now in order.
However, he still has not yet won one. So
No,
Willem
which is a
Dafoe is yet
crime.
to win an Academy Award, but he does have 4 nominations.
Such
All
a
right.
crime.
This is going to be a
So
shutout.
right now, Kim is up 3-0.
3-0.
Because
3
she's the
questions
what?
to go.
Commander.
Heyo.
3 questions to go. Here we go. Next question up is this. In our Spider-Man themed over-under game. Worldwide box office total for the first Spider-Man movie in 2002. Over or under $815 million. The box office worldwide total for the first Spider-Man movie in 2002. Over or under $815 million. And we'll be raising our hands in 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. Ray is going over. Kim is going under. The answer is over.
Good job, Ray.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Yes, I'm on the board at least.
Ray is on the board. The
it
game is
doesn't
still
look good.
alive. Spider-Man took in over $821 million
Good job.
at the worldwide box office. So Ray is still alive.
No, I'm not.
2 questions left.
Still
He's
alive,
still
bro.
in this.
You got a chance.
He's still in this. All right. We move on to question number, well, we're going to call this 5 now because the first one was a dud because of me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I got to grab it here first.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
through me off, John. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I know. That's a
Yeah,
totally
that's
threw you off your
it.
game.
That's the excuse in my pocket, and I'm bringing it out.
And
All
yet,
right.
I am the commander. But
Yeah,
okay.
you are
All
the
right,
commander.
here we go. Next question in our Spider-Man themed over-under. Question. Spider-Man just became the 4th fastest film to $1 billion. On the fastest to $1 billion list, is Avatar over or under Fast and the Furious 7? In the race to the $1 billion race, and of course, Spider-Man just became the 4th fastest film to that, on the fastest list, is Avatar over or under Fast and the Furious 7? And we will have you raise your hands in 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. Ray is going under. Kim is going over. And we go over to find the answer, and the answer is under.
Good job, Ray.
Avatar. Avatar sits in 9th place, making it in 19 days, while Fast 7 sits in 6th spot, making it to the $1 billion club in just 17 days.
I kind of thought that was a trick question if Fast 7 even made $1 billion. If you would throw one.
Oh, that would have been actually that would have been a really good one to do. All right. We actually have 2 questions left. Sorry, I forgot about that. So Ray, you can actually win this thing outright. Kim is leading 3-2. Kim is up 3-2 right now.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, in our Spider-Man themed game, number of Spider-Man movies to make over $800 million at the box office. Over or under 4.5. Number of Spider-Man movies to make over $800 million at the box office. Over or under 4.5. And we will have you raise your hands in 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. Kim is going over. Ray is going under. And the answer is... over!
It's a game over.
5 films have made over $800 million, including Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home has won that. So Kim has officially won the game. She's ahead 4-2, but let's go ahead and do the final question anyway. Let's see if Ray can make this one
Sorry,
close.
Jason.
So congratulations to Maria, but we will go into our final question at any rate, see how close this thing can be. All right, next up. The final question is, in our Spider-Man themed game here, the number of Marvel characters Mahershala Ali has portrayed, over or under 2.5. The number of Marvel characters that Mahershala Ali has portrayed, over or under 2.5. And your answer's in 3, 2, 1. Raise them up. Kim is going over. Ray is going under. And it is a dominant win for Kim because the answer is over. He was Uncle Aaron in Into the Spider-Verse. He was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. And he was, you didn't see his face, but he was Blade in Eternals.
What? Blade is in the Eternals?
Yeah, he's in the post-credit scene. Yeah.
Sure you want to do that?
Yeah, you sure we want to do that, Doctor, whatever his name is?
Oh my God, man. Come on, Eternals. Get up on Disney Plus already. I haven't seen it.
No, you wouldn't watch this over 90 minutes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, your winner for today's over-under is Kimberly Kern with a dominant win. Kimberly, you won for our viewer, Maria Manuela Athedi. So Ray, bring up that box again there. Met a girl named Maria. We're going to be shipping this out to you, and Ray and Kim and myself are going to be autographing it for you and shipping it out.
I got you, Maria.
I'm probably throwing a shirt too that we got at the place.
Got you, Maria.
And yeah, we'll probably throw in a shirt too as well. So Maria, we're going to be doing that. Do me a favor, Maria, email me at john@thejohncampeashow.com. Just put winner in the thing there and let us know, and we'll send out that thing to you there. All right.
Yippee!
That was a good one.
Really fun.
Ray, you made it interesting
really
there.
fun.
You were down 3-0. You raced back.
Yeah.
I think you guys are tied now. Are you?
Yeah,
not?
we're tied.
I think we are.
You've each won now two competitions.
In order to determine this, we need another game.
Another one will be coming. We'll be doing another giveaway here probably this week too. So,
but all the questions should be facts about me.
Facts about Ray Aura.
Or cooking, and you'll definitely win.
All facts about Ray Aura. Okay, with that down, guys, let's now move over and start taking your live comments you guys have been firing in via the super chat there. So, Kim, what have we got in the live comments? Actually, I don't have it lined up yet. Give me a second to get this lined up.
Stefan.
It's the game. It got me all thrown off here.
Yeah.
Okay, here
got
we
me straight
go.
tripping, boo.
All right, let's get to it. What's up first?
Stefan Dalent Waters says, at least theaters are allowed to remain open in France. They closed them down again here in Belgium last weekend until February.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. I mean, look, if this is at least an attempt
to
try to keep theaters open, I love making the attempt. I don't know how effective it'll be, but I'm glad they're at least trying something. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo says, game day for Boba Fett. Are we even excited?
Oh, I am beyond excited. I am so excited for this. This is my most anticipated Disney Plus series. I mean, at least in the foreseeable future. I am more excited. I was clearly more excited about this than I was for Hawkeye. I'm more excited about this than I am for Moon Knight. I'm more excited about this than I am for She-Hulk.
For Moon Knight?
I'm more excited. Yeah, that's how excited I am about Boba Fett. Yeah, absolutely. That's how excited I am for Boba Fett.
Whoa.
I am stoked
More than
for
Miss
this.
Marvel?
More than Ms. Marvel, more than Secret Wars, more than, what's it, Iron Wars? Is that what they're going to be called? I can't remember. More than any of the other things. I am most excited for this. This is what I'm most excited for.
Wow.
Right, what's next?
Dante Cereccia says, hi all. When can we ask Spidey No Way Home spoilers questions? This is.
I mean, we won't wait the normal length of time, which is, we usually wait until a movie comes out on home video. But because everybody is seeing it, so most people have seen it, we're at least going to give it another couple of weeks. All right, what's next?
Mr. Hank Dunn says, over under 50% Discovery makes a DC Studios.
I'm going to go over 50% on that. Like, seriously, Zaslav, is that his name? The CEO of Discovery. He has got such a great track record of having individual departments with their own chief executive officers overseeing everything and giving them the freedom to run with their things, and they're having great success. I wouldn't be surprised at all if one of the very first things he does, like, or at least within the first year, if spin off DC into its own studio. I really wouldn't be surprised if he does that at all. I think he sees the success that they've had over there at Marvel with giving them that kind of an autonomy, putting the person over, giving a person over in charge of that. Maybe it's, why am I freezing on the name of the sheriff over there at DC right now? I'm freezing on his name. I talk about him all the time and I'm freezing on his name. Guys in the live chat, help me out about who am I thinking of that is kind of one of the de facto heads of DC, the screen stuff right now. And I can't remember. Anyway. Walter Hamada, thank you. Michael Gonzalez is the first one to get in there. Walter Hamada, maybe he'll take Walter Hamada, install him as the head, make it its own studio. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. We'll see. But I do think they're going to do that. Within first year of when they actually take it over, I think they might do that.
Right on.
All right. What's next?
Sam Fisher says, I'm not a hardcore Star Wars fan, so while I've been interested in Boba Fett, I haven't been ecstatic. Don't know if I'm going to watch at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, I first of all, I'm lucky because we're in the West Coast. So, yeah, I could see it at midnight. But I will tell you right now, if I was on the East Coast, if I was visiting my family right now, if I was where I was supposed to be right now at the Campea Ranch, right over there, it's our own little private Yellowstone. I swear, like, one of the reasons I like Yellowstone, me and Ann were talking about this last night, and I'm sure my mom or dad is watching this right now. But I was talking to my mom the other day on the phone. I was not surprised at all to find out that they love watching Yellowstone. And I'm like, of course, because my dad thinks he's Kevin Costner. I mean, he doesn't think he's Kevin Costner. He thinks he's Kevin Costner in Yellowstone. He thinks he's John Dutton.
There you go.
He goes out, whereas what does the Yellowstone have? Like 250,000 square miles or whatever. My dad's got like 200 acres.
Holy
right?
crap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's a good little size. It's a good little size. But I mean, it ain't the Yellowstone. So, but my dad, I guarantee every day my dad goes out there and he thinks he's John Dutton. I can just totally see it. I'm not surprised. But if I was where I was supposed to be right now and in Canada at the Campea Ranch celebrating the holidays with my family, I would be staying up till 3 a.m. to watch Boba Fett. No doubt. No doubt.
Or just set your alarm like me.
Or just set your alarm like go to bed at 9 o'clock like Kim. Set your alarm for midnight and get up and watch it at that point. All right, what's
because I'm an old lady. Dino Vader says Bob's Fett Day. Each
Bob's
episode
Fett Day.
has
big surprises.
See, I don't even think this show's gonna have a lot of big surprises.
No.
I just think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I don't, and a show does not need big surprises to be great. I don't even think there's gonna be a lot of big surprises in this one. All right, what's next?
Suthia says, I often like to write poems, so here's one for y'all. Roses are red, violets are blue. Just say the magic word, and Chef Pleasures will cook for you.
Speaking of which, are we cooking tonight?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just
no, we can.
If you want to, it might be fun.
Well, do you have anything in particular that you want to see?
Let me think about that.
Yeah.
Anne's got those sausages in the fridge that are pretty damn good.
Oh,
that she made. What did she make that with?
Those are the Filipino sausages.
The Filipino sausages. Those are pretty damn good.
What's in a Filipino sausage?
I don't know. It's just
a lot of sweet.
Yeah, a lot of sweet.
Like
a lot
mango?
of sweet.
It's red.
As well?
It's red. It comes off as looking spicy, but
it's not.
at all.
Yeah, it looks. I was afraid when I saw it, but then I tasted it. It's like, oh, it's just all kinds of delicious. Anyway, sorry, we got to keep going.
I shall have a plate waiting for me.
What's next?
You shall.
All right, John Redcorn says early box office predictions for Morbius. I'll say 45 million.
I say it's not going to open.
Oh, damn.
I think it's going to get delayed. Hope I'm wrong. Hope I'm dead wrong. Otherwise, I see, let's just assume everything goes according to plan, whatever. I'm seeing a $70 million opening for Morbius.
Nice.
If they can capture that momentum of Spider-Man No Way Home and figure out in their upcoming marketing to tie into that a little bit, I mean, you're not going to see 150 million, but I think I could see 70. I think I could see 70. So not as much.
What do you want to put on that?
No, I don't feel confident about it. But it's not going to make as much as Venom 2. It's not going to make as much as Shang-Chi, but I could see it pulling 70. All right, what's
up? K Major says, I'm setting up a food truck outside my theater if concessions go away. Just filling a need.
Dude, listen, I think food trucks should be in front of movie
Great idea.
Food trucks should be in front of your house. They'll make a lot of money just right here.
But honestly,
that's a fantastic idea.
If there were food trucks in front of a movie theater, I'd go even earlier, eat a bunch of food at the food trucks first, and then go in and still get my popcorn.
I'm telling you, the best breakfast burrito I've ever had came from a food truck.
Yeah, man.
They make amazing things when it's fresh, because it's always fresh. At least if they cook it in front of you.
That'd be a nice partnership too.
Yeah, and by the way, so Anne, it's just a quick side note talking about food trucks. So not a lot of people know this, but Anne for a while had a blog. This is years ago. She had a blog called Girl vs. Food.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of a play on the Man vs. Food show that was on there.
Yeah.
And she started covering like a bunch of Food Network stuff, and all the Food Network stars started following her. And so then she started following the Great Food Truck Race. And the winners, Jason, the winner of the Great Food Truck Race, he started communicating with Anne, and then he opened up a brick and mortar restaurant to go with his food truck, and he invited Anne and I to go down. We shot episodes in his restaurant, and we got to go eat at his place a whole bunch of time. Yeah, Anne became a little bit of a celebrity amongst the Food Network people. Yeah, when she was.
Is there anything this amazing woman does not do? She
No, she does it all.
cosplays. She's incredible. She has several degrees.
Yep.
Her family's royalty. Holy cow!
Oh yeah, no, like I
2 snaps.
I
for
married up.
Anne.
There's no doubt I married up.
You married up, bro.
I did. I totally did.
Ray's over there shaking his head.
Yeah,
Brady
I
married
certainly
up. What the
did.
hell?
I certainly did. All right, what's next?
Victor Vodka says, I gave Yellowstone a shot, and although season 1 didn't thrill me, season 2 has been great. The show reminds me of Sons of Anarchy. Costner is badass.
It reminds me of Sons of Anarchy with Cowboys. I've heard it called Sons of Anarchy with Cowboys. I've heard it called The Godfather with Cowboys. I'm not a cowboy guy. That's my dad. My dad fancies himself a cowboy. There's nothing about my dad that's anything like a cowboy, but he fancies himself a cowboy. He's got his ranch and he's great at it. But I mean, I am not. And that's why I didn't watch Yellowstone when it came out. I just got on board with Yellowstone a few months ago, and I'm in freaking love with this show.
Are you watching 1883?
I have not started it yet. I'm going to start. I've heard great things about it, though.
There's some really cool stuff in there.
I've heard
that ties to Yellowstone. It's a beautifully written show.
I've heard.
And
I can't wait.
There's some cameos that you're gonna be like.
I already know a couple of them.
You gotta tune into that one, bro.
Cameos.
Gotta tune into that one.
All right, what's next?
Suthius says, just guessing here. Next COVID variant, Megatron.
Yeah, there you go. They start bringing in the movie names for it. All right, what's next?
Rick Stain says, tracksuit voice. Bro, I can't eat my popcorn with my movie. Haha, at least I get to see the movie still.
Yeah,
that was horrible. Okay.
Look, it'll suck. It'll suck.
Yeah.
And by the way, again, I just want to emphasize, in case anybody's panicking here, I've heard no talk of AMC theaters or Regal or trying this. But if they did, while it would suck, I would at least be grateful they were trying that and keeping the movie theaters open. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn says, also don't sense any excitement for 355 or Scream.
No, 355 is... I'm intrigued by it because it's got one of the most awesome casts in any movie you're going to see this year. And it's a thriller, a spy thriller. I'm a sucker for that stuff. But it was supposed to come out in 2020 originally.
I remember seeing that trailer long ago.
Years ago, it felt like. And so they haven't really figured out a way to properly revamp it up. And I've said forever, much like Matrix, I remember we had a debate. Somebody wrote in on the show months and months and months and months ago, like, as I said, I don't see Scream really doing very good business at all. And people like insisting to me the movie's going to make $120, $130 million opening weekend. I think you're crazy. I mean, I want big success for any movie, but I don't see it. I mean, on that, I would take any bet.
Oh, I'm not taking that bet.
I'll take any bet. You throw it out there. I'll take any bet on that. This movie's not going to.
What's the bet?
Scream is not going to make over $100 million opening weekend.
Over $100 million?
Yeah, Scream is not going to do it. It's going to be much closer to Matrix than it will be to Spider-Man.
Damn, that's mean.
If it was Scary Movie, I would take that bet because I believe the Scary Movies.
You think Scary Movie
would make more money than any of the Screams? It sounds dumb, but my neighbors, they love the Scary Movies. They put them on all the time. So I figured there's going to be a bunch of people like that will see a new Scary Movie. I'm not one of them, but there is a big fan base for the Scary Movie.
I don't know.
It's the best. I think it's the best out of all of them that they released, all those parody movies. I don't know.
All right, let's move on here. What's next?
Casey Mack says, the concessions is where a bunch of theaters get their money from. If they don't get much money from concessions, I don't know if theaters can stay open.
And that, Casey, I'm glad you brought that up because that's totally something I should have discussed as well. And it's a big deal for the theaters to do that because that's where movie theaters get scraps from the movie tickets. Movie theaters don't stay in business from the movie tickets. I've repeated this a lot of times, but it's true. I remember at CinemaCon one year, one of the big movie theater executives got up and he said something that's absolutely true. He said this, talking to all movie theater owners, we are not in the movie business. We're in the candy business. And he's right. Movie theaters make their nut on the concession stands. That's how they keep their doors open. That's how they keep the lights on. That's how they keep the place clean. And that's how they keep their people employed. It's the concession stand. It's like almost all of your ticket goes back to the distributor and stuff like that. And I get that. That's fine. So it would be very, very hard. However, were the theaters to shut their doors, not only would they be selling no candy, they would also not be getting those scraps of the movie ticket sales. At least then they'd be able to stay open, generate a little bit of revenue, keep people from getting out of the habit of going back to the movie theaters, because it's been taking months to get people back into the habit of going back to the movies. You don't want to have to shut your doors again for 3 more months and then try to get people back into the habit of coming to the movies again. So it does become the better option, but it does present, even then, it's a hardship. It's definitely a hardship for the theaters, no doubt. All right, what's next?
Mighty Tank says Ontario banned concessions before Christmas, too.
I did not know that. I did not know that. And that's a huge market, Ontario. So that's Matt. Thanks for letting me know about that, Mighty Tank. I did not know that. All right, what's next?
Tony J. Wachowski says theaters can sell bagged snacks and bottled soda.
I don't know if I don't think that's true, but even then you're going through a chain of, I don't know who's handled this bag. I don't know who handles soda. I don't know who put
Someone
what's
takes
in the
the
bag.
bag out of the box and hangs it on the rack.
Yeah. So
I
don't know. I mean, but again, I'm open to anything that keeps the theaters open. I'm good with. All right. What's next?
Sarah Rose says, hi, John. On an Andrew Garfield kick and just watched Under the Silver Lake. What was that? LOL. I loved it, but my brain has melted.
That was one of those movies that I was actually pretty intrigued by. And because I'm a big Andrew Garfield guy, like I've been a huge Andrew Garfield fan since he was in The Social Network. Because I honestly, to this day, I 100% believe he deserved an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. He was the human heartbeat of that film. And I remember Under Silver Lake came out and I was really intrigued by it. Let's just put it this way. I haven't really thought about the movie again since I left it. So I totally get what you're saying, Sarah. I think you're right on the nose with that reaction. All right, what's next?
Hosier Mays says, our Darth Maul criminal bounty hunter group Crimson Dawn will be the main villain of the series. Probably Kira will return. Will Cad Bane, Hondo may appear.
I mean, these are all possibilities, but one of the things I hope this show doesn't become is another best of hits Star Wars show. Look, everybody, there's Darth Maul. Look, everybody, there's Kira. Look, everybody, there's Hondo. Look, everybody. I want a good, gritty crime drama show. I don't want a fan service, whatever show. You want to please the fans, just make an awesome Boba Fett show. So I bet all the things you just said are totally true. And even if they are, Jon Favreau may find a way to make it all work really great. But I'm just saying, I kind of hope they lean away from that. That's just my kind of hope right now. All right, what's next?
Stefan Delint Waters says, this just in, a Belgian court has decided that the closure of theaters isn't proven to be ineffective against the COVID pandemic. They can reopen.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess if they're saying, if they have restrictions in place that you have to show proof of vaccination, everybody's wearing masks, maybe they have some distance in their seating, I don't know. Maybe they're saying, look, there's no proof that this isn't safe. Then that's an interesting, I don't know anything about this, Stefan, but I'm going to look into that. That's a very interesting piece of information. Thanks for sharing that, man. All right, what's next?
K Major says, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs as well. I don't like this idea, and I don't buy any food at the theaters ever.
Well, what do you want? I mean, a lot more people are going to lose their jobs if the theaters close.
Yeah.
I mean, so yes, it will suck, but it's a matter of taking, you either got to lose a little right now or you got to lose a hell of a lot right now. So, I mean, it may be the better of two bad options. All right, what's next?
Luis Enrique de la Peña says, there are 4 types of flavored popcorn in Mexican theaters: extra butter, cheddar cheese, spicy, and caramel. Have a great day.
Tell you what, I've been getting into a little bit.
Sounds good.
At AMC theaters, they have cheddar and they have caramel popcorn now. And I've been getting, I'd say every other visit, I get their cheddar popcorn.
You do?
About every other visit. Yeah, it's really good. Their cheddar, their caramel corn isn't great, but their cheddar popcorn's quite good. It's like, because they have a thing where you order where it's mixed. It's cheddar and it's kind of like that Chicago mix. But I kind of like just getting the cheddar. Yeah.
Am I mistaken, or does AMC do hot Cheeto popcorn?
I am not familiar with it.
Place that I would?
John would never be familiar with that.
Yeah, I would never be familiar. Yeah, that would never
even
touch my
ask
lips
for that
anyway.
or wonder that.
No way that ever happens to me.
I know I've seen that.
All right, what's next?
Kung Fu Joe Production sends in a $50 super chat.
Thank you, Kung Fu Joe. Appreciate that, man, for supporting us on that level. That's awesome. Thank you, dude.
Thanks. They bring back Edward Norton's Hulk and Eric Bana's Hulk. Doctor Strange's actions should have a major effect throughout the Marvel Universe. Now is the time for the MCU and Sony to seize this opportunity.
First of all, Kung Fu, thank you again for supporting us on that level. I disagree completely. It's cool if you want to do this multiverse bullshit nonsense for a couple of films, if you can find a really great way of doing it. And I love No Way Home. I do. But at some point, you got to do away with it. It's just, you don't, like, it's already so stupid and so ridiculous. If you just carry it out to every movie now, then all of a sudden, so like, there's no point to anything now. Now just anybody from any universe comes in and there's no stakes, there's no consequences. Like, everything's just kind of like bandied drivel. And I disagree. That's why I really believe that, and I've believed this for a very, very long time, and they may or may not do this. I don't know. I'm just saying I believed it, that Doctor Strange 2 is either going to completely eliminate the multiverse or very clearly limit and define it. Mm-hmm. Because this chaos of, any second, 50 other versions of this can come through a rift, and now that being the case for every like single Marvel property, I'm already bored of it. Like, just the thought of it bores me. And you got to get back just to good storytelling. So I'm going to respectfully, my film loving brother Kung Fu Joe, disagree with you on that. I think it's time to shut the door on this, but who knows, right? Who knows? No Way Home was done in a great way. I think Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness is going to be awesome, but I still believe that's where they're going to kind of shut multiverse stuff down. But we'll see. We'll find out. All right. What's next?
Mark Netto says they restricted food and drink in Cineplex theaters last week due to COVID. Matrix premiere was empty.
Yeah, somebody just wrote in about that, about like Cineplex, for those of you who don't know, is Canada's absolute number one, practically only big movie theater chain. So yeah, I heard about that. And hey, at least the theaters are open. But yeah, it is a bummer when you can't get the popcorn. All right, what's next?
A. Marcellus says, Book of Boba Fett is really a Mandalorian show clone in disguise. Fett will discover a baby Gungan, and he has to deliver him to the Sith.
Okay. For whatever reason, you just made me even more excited for the show. No, yeah. Leave the Gungans out of it, A. Marcellus. Leave the Gungans out of it. All right, what's next?
Elizabeth Gerardo says, percentage on Baby Yoda appearing because I need a glimpse of my little dude. Also, the J in my name is pronounced like H, not that minded. Bring on the filthy. Gerardo. Gerardo. Elizabeth Gerardo. Gotcha.
Yeah, 0% chance that Baby Yoda appears. 0% chance. No, I mean, we're going to see him again in Mandalorian Season 3. Of that, I have no doubt. I don't know if he's going to be in half the season, one episode, whatever. But I have very, very little doubt we're at least going to see Baby Yoda, but I don't think we're going to see him in Boba Fett. All right, what's next?
Little baby. Greg Barrett says, greetings from St. John's, Norway. Newfoundland. Oh, whoops. Norway is not the only place suffering. All theaters in the province are closed. So Spider-Man No Way Home and No Matrix 4. Weak.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are not just other countries. There are spotted places around North America, specifically in Canada, where theaters are straight up closed right now. And not good. I hope they get a handle on this quickly. Get a handle on this quickly. I hope so. I'll be thinking about you guys up there in St. John's, man. All right, what's next?
Russell Amador says, damn, no snacks would be devastating if this would take effect stateside. Hopefully that's not the case. That's part of my movie-going experience. And please, no delays for anything coming out.
Yeah, completely agree. However, if the choice is theaters close, or we can try keeping them open with more restrictions, then keep them open with more restrictions. Either way sucks, but one sucks a lot worse. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm with you on that, Russell. I'm totally with you on that, dude. All right, what's next?
Nikita Monahan says, have you guys seen Licorice Pizza yet? Is it worth it?
I still have not watched it. I've just been so busy with everything else, including doing Spider-Man companion videos now. You've seen it though, did you not?
No, I'm going to see it tomorrow.
Oh, going to see it tomorrow. All right, What's next?
Veriton003 says, given that theaters bringing in the majority of their profit via concessions, the pushback from NATO would be significant.
Oh, absolutely. But if no one is sitting here suggesting that not having concessions is that's a fun idea. Nobody is suggesting it. It sucks. But if the only option is that or closing your doors, I think NATO will move pretty quickly to accept it short term. Here's the problem though. The movie theaters can't afford to keep their doors open without concessions for long. Because at some point, they're just losing more money by keeping their doors open. But they need to try to keep the theaters open as much as they can, again, so the movie-going audience doesn't get out of the habit of going back to the movies again. So it becomes a worth sacrifice. But, I mean, look, it's just the best out of a bad situation if it comes to that. And again, we don't know that it will. All right, what's next?
Caden Stab says, 1, 19 years between Solo and Boba. 2,
did we miss Daniel Fitzpatrick?
I'm sorry, Daniel. We did. Daniel Fitzpatrick says, saw the Harry Potter movies for the first time over the summer. Looking forward to the special.
Yeah, I told a story the other day. Anne is a big Potterhead. My wife is a big Potterhead. I remember, when we would go to the last 2 Harry Potter movies, she got up in her... what's it called again? Hogwarts schoolgirl outfit, and we'd go and she'd bring her wands and all that. So then the preview for the Harry Potter reunion special on HBO, I was going through YouTube. And it's there's the preview for the Harry Potter. I turned to Anne, have you watched that yet? And Anne said, no, I haven't seen it yet. I'm okay, let's watch it. And I click the remote and it starts to play. And it's pretty good. And then it ends and I turn to Anne saying, oh, that was pretty good. And as I turn over to Anne is just tears coming down her face and she's crying. And it's oh yeah, Harry Potter fans are very, very excited for this. All right, what's next?
Caden Stab says, 1, 19 years between Solo and Boba. 2, will this be chapter 17? I think it was confirmed to be Mando season 2.5. And 3, they have to nail this show in my opinion.
What are we talking about? 19 years between Solo and Boba Fett. Okay, that's cool because we were talking about that a little bit earlier. This will be chapter 17. I mean, if you like a continuation of Mandalorian, I don't think so. I think it was confirmed to be Mandalorian season 2.53. I don't think so. They have to nail the show. Look, I'm not quite sure what we're talking about there, Caden, but I will say this. They do need to nail this show. I mean, because you got your best. You got Favreau writing it. You got a great director lineup. They do have to nail it. If this isn't good, I think it's going to be great, though. I think it's going to be absolutely great. All right, what's next?
All right, I'm going to get my next one from the monitor because something happened with my thing.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. A. Marcellus says, props to 61-year-old Tamora Morrison for playing 41-year-old Boba Fett.
Look, it's just as long as you got that voice, Why talk of conflict? Like that voice commands respect. It just does. All right. What's next?
Alrighty. This is from Luis Enrique de la Pena. He says, when I was about 6 years old, we snuck a lot of picnic food into the theater. Burgers, chips, sodas, etc. We had a blast.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to speak on behalf of the movie theater industry for a second. Yep. That's cool. But you are actually hurting the industry when you do that. And that's part of the reason why people lose their jobs and stuff like that. I mean, I get it. Everybody does it. I just say, give it a second thought. Maybe don't think about doing that. Anyway, that's just my encouragement on that. All right, what's next?
Mohammed Mater says, hey, John and Co. Just watched The Matrix. I'm a big fan of The Matrix, but this was very bad. I am so sad. I'm so sad it's like this. I was looking forward to it.
I think a lot of people were looking forward to it. I wasn't really, but I was hoping to be pleasantly surprised. And hey, look, again, the critic rating is positive right now. It's in the 60s. The audience rating is also positive. It's also in the 60s. I feel like everybody I talked to didn't like it, but still, I mean, it's there. But, unfortunately, I didn't like it, but I'm glad for those people who are enjoying it. All right, what's next?
Noah Aguilera says, watched Don't Look Up last night and absolutely loved it. I honestly forgot how much I love watching Jonah Hill in movies. He's such an amazing actor.
I've been hearing from a lot of people. First of all, when it was first getting screened, I talked to a lot of people that hated that movie. Absolutely hated it. And the reviews have been split, but I've been hearing from more and more people lately that are enjoying it, which is good to hear because I was so excited for this movie. And then when I talked to a bunch of people I knew that just hated it, I lost all my interest and I haven't watched it yet.
It wasn't horrible.
I mean, some people are loving it though. So I might have to give it a shot. I might have to give it a shot.
It made me remember how much I love Jennifer Lawrence. I've missed her.
Yeah. I mean,
I've missed her a lot.
Yeah,
she took a big break, but I loved her.
All right, what's next?
Michael Hamilton sends in a super chat. Thank you, Michael, so much. Chris M says, John, you helped temper my expectations greatly for Matrix Resurrections, and I ended up actually enjoying it last night. Thanks for leveling me out.
Hey, dude, listen, movies I like or don't like, nothing makes me happier than to hear a fellow film fan went into a movie, whether it's a movie I like or not, and had a good time at the movies. Nothing makes me happier. Love hearing that. Thanks for sharing that, dude.
Just 1 second, John. The person who wrote that 19 years thing, he was saying it was talking about the possibility of Kira showing up in Boba.
Oh yeah, that part I got. So there's 19 years separating
between
the events of Solo.
And Boba.
Yeah,
okay.
Which I was trying to figure out a little bit earlier. So
Okay.
like almost a 20-year gap there, which is interesting. All right, what's next?
Mohammed Mater says, I'm a huge fan of The Incredible Hulk in 2008. I wish that they made a Hulk movie as powerful as this movie. I think they depowered the Hulk a little. Bring on the film.
I mean, they certainly didn't depower the Hulk in the original Avengers. Like in the first Avengers movie, Hulk was Hulk.
He was smashing.
He was the nuclear option. He was the thing everybody was worried about. Mm-hmm. When that flying serpent comes down the street and Hulk was like, that's the thing. I'm always angry. Boom!
I love that scene.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's Hulk. Oh yeah, these giant, one punch. One punch. After that, they started to depower Hulk a little bit. And that really bummed me out. Because that whole idea of that rage, that nuclear threat, that nuclear option being there, it's just, and then they neutered him. Like, I love what the Russo brothers did with Infinity War and Endgame. Of course I did. Overall, I loved it. But the one thing that always bothered me was the fact that they completely neutered Hulk. They completely neutered him, which sucks because like that Hulk character, he brings such an interesting, what's the thing I'm looking for? He brings such an interesting dynamic to whatever it is they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Like when they're always having to, with that question, now you don't want to feed off it too often. Like you don't want to just kind of be over reliant on it, but it's got to be a part of it. And I always wish they did more than that, but whatever. Hey guys, listen, we're going to have to move. There were still more questions to come, more comments and live comments you guys had, but I no longer have them on my screen. There's a glitch.
I got it back.
You got it back?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it back too.
Kung Fu Joe.
Okay, let me see if I can get it here. Hold a second.
You know, Hulk should be like
I'm gonna copy
terrifying to add to that point, because every time you see him, he will actually fight anybody that's near him when he's angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm still not getting it. But you've got the list up?
I've got it. And
oh, I finally just got it back myself.
You guys, the Matrix is getting back at us.
Yeah, the Matrix is getting back at us.
The Matrix is like, oh, who's not a good movie now, bitch?
Okay, so what was the next one up?
It was Kung Fu Joe Productions.
The one that says, I don't expect?
Yes.
Okay, I still can't get... I can't get the display to actually come up. They're having a technical issue on their part. Let me just give me 1 second to see if I can get this fixed up myself here. I'm not sure that I can. All right, so I got it. Let me see if I can get it up just a little bit fixed here. Again, I'm not sure that I can.
While you're doing that, can we talk about how I won again?
All right, I'm not going to be able to get the whole question on, but I'll do the best I can here. Sorry, guys. This is the best I can do right now. Okay, what's next?
Kung Fu Joe Productions says, I don't expect the Batman to be better than The Dark Knight, but at least be better than Batman Begins.
I don't know. Like, Batman Begins.
What?
There are some people out there that think Batman Begins is better than The Dark Knight. Are you one of them, Ray?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I love Batman Begins.
You'd be surprised how many people out there actually like Batman Begins more.
The music, everything. Because you know what? Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now.
Okay.
Before Batman Begins, I didn't know anything about Batman. Like, my neighbor used to be a big Batman fan, and we used to go back and forth with Spider-Man versus Batman. And when I watched that movie, I became a Batman fan. That's why I like it more. It's not a better movie than Dark Knight, but that's why I adore it more than The Dark Knight, because it actually gave me the love for Batman.
See, now I'm with the majority. No, that's rare. I'm with the majority. I think The Dark Knight is better, but here's what I'd say. Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are both great. The Batman doesn't have to be better than either of them. Just be good. Just be really good. That's all I need them to be. Just be really good. All right, what's next?
NC says, to be honest, I'm pro stream Spider-Man. Force me to go to the theaters, and Doctor Strange is next. All else, I'll wait to stream. Theaters are too overwhelming for me.
Hey, listen, no judgment for me on anybody who's thinking right now the theater is a situation they don't want to be in. Yeah. I get that. I respect that. And listen, man, you do what you need to do to look after yourself, and that's totally cool. All right, it's next.
Casey Mack says, the only person that had success after Marvel is maybe Chris Pratt.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. Chris Evans has done a couple. He had that I think that HBO show, Apple Plus show that did really well for him. He's gotten involved as a producer.
Knives Out.
What's that?
Knives Out.
Knives Out was awesome. Baby. Knives Out was awesome. Chris Hemsworth. I didn't think Extraction was very good, to be honest. I thought Extraction was a poor movie. I didn't think it was garbage, but I thought it was a poor movie. But still, very, very popular. A lot of people really liked it. A lot. He's had some success in other things as well. So he's had a bit of success. Obviously, Scarlett Johansson has continued to have success in and out of the MCU, so that's fine too. So no, I wouldn't say the only one, but he's killing it in and outside of the MCU. So that's good for him. All right, what's next?
Daniel Hinojosa says, blue states and counties like California will be the only ones who will try to halt concessions in theaters. Red areas will not.
I don't really give a shit about whatever. Let's not bring politics into this. All right, what's next?
Mickey Bell says, hi, John, first time tipper.
Thank you, Mickey.
I think Omega from Bad Batch could be at the very least mentioned in Book of Boba, given her connections with Finnick and Boba.
Maybe. I don't give a shit about Bad Batch, so I really hope they don't. I thought it was
that's
bad.
A different type of batch
you're
talking about.
That's
the batch in your butthole.
So there you go.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Alma Powell says, Zendaya deserves $10 million over Holland, Euphoria, Greatest Showman, Spider-Man, etc.
Greatest Showman did not make the money it made because of Zendaya. They made that because of Hugh Jackman. Euphoria, critically loved, not the most watched thing. I don't know a lot of people that watch Euphoria. I know a couple. I don't know a whole ton. Spider-Man, she's a supporting character. Look, I think Zendaya. Listen, I never used to care much about Zendaya. I thought she was a gimmick of an actress, to be honest with you. She has grown to quite impress me. I am now totally team Zendaya. I am totally. She's not worth $10 million. She's not going to bring in that. She's not going to bring that to your thing. She's also done. She did the one film. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Malcolm and Marie.
Yes.
With John David Washington.
Yep, with John David Washington. Nobody watched it. Nobody watched it.
Not a lot of people, but I know I've spoken to a lot of people that really appreciated the performance there.
The performances, I watched it because I love John David Washington. I was starting to become really interested.
And a lot of people, I know a lot of people that watched it to tune in to see how he's growing as an actor.
You know,
and holding his own there.
Right now, I'm going to do a poll. Did you actually watch, what was the name of it again?
Malcolm and Marie. On Netflix.
So, like, I'm curious. Maybe I'm open to being surprised here, but I literally know like one person that's watched it, not counting you. I literally know one person that's watched it besides myself.
And who's in this?
John David Washington and Zendaya.
Oh, okay.
Who, by the way, John David Washington.
He's really making his way.
I think 5 years from now, he's got an Oscar on his mantle. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I think he does. Okay, so right now, the early thing is we're closing in on 200 votes. Now we're closing on 3. 79% of people say they haven't watched it. So I'll be honest with you. 21% of people saying they watch it. That's more than I thought it would be. That's more than I thought it would be.
There you go.
But again, most people haven't even watched it. So it's a tough sell to tell me that she's worth $10 million. But I don't know. Who knows? But I do think she's great. I think she's wonderful. All right, what's next?
I'm going to get this from the screen here.
No, you're not.
Huh?
No, because we lost it too. All right, guys. So with that down, so we'll get, obviously, Stream Elements is having a tech issue right now, so we won't worry about that. So we'll come back. There are only a few left to go, so we'll pick up on that tomorrow on tomorrow's show. So what we're going to do is we're going to transition into taking the questions you guys have sent in via the tip link below. But we're going to do that in just a minute. First, we're going to take a quick little break. We've been going for about 90 minutes now, so we're going to take a 3 or 4 minute break here, stretch our legs, refill our drinks, give you a chance to talk amongst yourselves, run, use the bathroom, do whatever it is you need to do. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back. All right, everybody, and we are back. Thank you so much for your patience and indulgence. We took a little bit of a break there. You know what we got for now? We got the stream elements back up. So let's get back to those and finish off those questions that got brought in. Okay, where do we leave off there?
All right. Sin Vendetta says, honestly, I'm not going to see Uncharted because of Tom Holland. I'm seeing Uncharted because I'm a fan of the games.
I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are like that, absolutely. But, I mean, some people are saying they're turned off from the movie because it's Tom Holland, which I think is ridiculous. But anyway, all right, good to know. Thanks for sharing that, Sin Vendetta. All right, what's next?
Okay, 80 says, I think Jon Favreau has earned our attention. The writing for Mando is my main reason for my excitement, besides my love of Star Wars, obviously.
Absolutely. See, I was already excited for Book of Boba Fett just because of what we saw him do in Mandalorian, but knowing Jon Favreau himself believes in this so much, he's so passionate about it. He wrote it himself and executive producing. I mean, that's what got me on board with this. That's why I think it's going to be awesome. All right, what's next?
Mark Gorman says, Tom Holland got paid $4 million for No Way Home. Tobey Maguire got paid $17.5 million and 5% of the film's box office gross for Spider-Man 2. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a different era. It's a different era. And, you know, they don't pay. And by the way, that's outrageous that he got paid that much. But hey, you don't get what you deserve, as Rob would say. You get what you negotiate. And if you can get them to give it to you, that's great. But they're not giving out paydays like that anymore. That's a different era. And so it's a different thing today where they've gotten a little bit more sanity back right now. All right, what's next? Oh, and I lost the stream again. Okay, we're gonna give up on that, and we're gonna move over to the live questions. All right, let's get over to the questions then, shall we? You got your questions all lined up, ready to go, Kim?
I do.
Okay, go. Where do we leave off on there? We got left off Mark Gorman. There were literally only 4 more to go. So, you know what? I'm just go through these ones myself here quickly. James Argenta writes, Forbes is reporting, and let me see if I can copy this. There we go. Let me see this for a second. Okay, here we go. Forbes is reporting that Garfield likely returning as Spider-Man to fight Venom Sinister Six. Interesting. I'll look at that story a little bit later. Stefan DeWalters-Lind writes, another update, cinemas aren't allowed to reopen after all. On-stage theaters and other culture houses don't understand why cinema owners are going to court as well, hoping to get the same deal. I agree, Stefan. Why on earth would live stage theaters be allowed to open, but movie theaters can't? That sounds absolutely ridiculous to me. Casey Mack wrote in, amazing that Spider-Man 2 hasn't made over $800 million worldwide. Yeah, I can't remember how much Spider-Man 2 made. I think it made like 700 something million at any rate. And then Rachel Knight online sent in a super chat badge just to be supportive. So thank you for that, Rachel. All right. Whew. All right, we got through all of the questions, all the comments that got sent in today via the super chat. Let's now go over and start taking those questions sent in via the tip link. All right, Kim, what do we have?
Okay, guys, this first one comes from Ryan Launer. It's a good thing that the Hulk wasn't the one fighting the Chitauri near Kate Bishop's apartment. Mom, I want to get a shot full of gamma radiation.
Hey, listen, as much as I didn't like Kate Bishop in the first couple episodes, a young person seeing a hero do something heroic and then that imprinting on them, that totally made sense to me. But yes, it would have been different if it was the Hulk, for sure. All right, what's next?
Dangerous D says, hi, John. There are reports saying Gal Gadot will be making an appearance in Shazam 2. This makes so much sense. Wonder Woman's the daughter of Zeus, and he's the Z in Shazam. It's nuts that months before Rachel Ziegler was an unknown cast, that changed thanks to West Side Story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I buy those reports, but thematically it makes sense because look at you've got why am I freezing on her name? She played the Queen. She won an Oscar.
Helen Mirren.
Why did I freeze on Helen Mirren? I talk about Helen Mirren all the time. Anyway, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are playing Greek mythology characters. That's connected to, so thematically, I don't think that automatically means she's going to be there. So I don't know if I buy the rumors, but it would thematically make sense. All right, what's next?
Mr. J. Korb says, do you feel HBO Max is a free excuse for some of these movies to flop at the box office? I would say no way a Matrix 5 would happen after this box office fail, but if HBO Max gains enough subscribers from it, they could justify a Matrix 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Sure, but they're not. It's just that simple. They're not. None of these movies have. that's why one of the reasons when HBO is desperate to try to make something that it looks like they've had some success to say, oh, we've had this many people view it. Great. But you didn't have anybody signed up to the service for it.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. So yeah, there's that. All right. What's next?
Mr. J. Corb says, much love. By the way, John. Yeah. I edit YouTube videos for a living.
Nice.
And have watched you on my second monitor at work for so many years. 90% of what you enjoy and dislike, I agree with. So you are my most trusted movie/TV show creator. Thank you so much for all of your hard work.
Well, thank you, Mr. J. Corbs, for watching, and good on you for being an editor. Editors, that's an art skill in and of itself. I would say this though. Don't watch or not watch me because you agree with what I say or don't agree with what I say. The whole idea is about having the conversation. Like I always say this on the show, my job is not to say what you agree with. And it's also not my job to get you to agree with me. My job is to give you my opinion in such a way that it helps you sharpen what your opinion is, whether it's the same or different from mine. So if you walk away from my show going, I disagreed with John's position and now I have a firmer idea about why I do, well, then I've done my job and that's a win. Then I feel good about that. So yeah, I mean, it's great when people agree with me, but it's totally great to go. My favorite film critic of all time is Roger Ebert. And I disagreed with him probably more than 50% of the time. But I was such a fan of the way he expressed his thoughts on films, how he articulated it and structured those opinions, because it really helped me understand when I agreed with him, why I agreed with him, and it really helped me sharpen my own personal opinion, even when half the time it was different than his. And that's what I personally strive to do. But anyway, thanks for being along with us, Mr. J. Corbs. Really appreciate that. And happy editing, my friend. All right, what's next?
K Major says, hey, John, I started watching Arcane and holy crap. I'm only on episode 3 and I'm like, my little heart can't handle all this emotion. What the hell did you put me on to? Well, on to episode 4 when my anxiety calms down. LOL. Have an awesome day, John, Ray, and Kim.
Here's the funny thing. Episode 4 is where it really starts to get good.
I was going to say.
If you thought the first 3 episodes were great, and they are great, episode 4 is where it really starts to get good. Oh God, I wish I could watch that again for the first time.
Good.
It's my number 1 favorite animated thing ever. Animated series ever. Not number 1 favorite animated movie ever, but my number 1 favorite animated series of all time. All right, what's next?
Ryan White says, hi, John. I know you hate the Star Wars prequels, but what is your favorite moment in them? For me, was the Anakin/Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan fight in The Revenge of the Sith. So much emotion. Best live action lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars, in my opinion.
I disagree. I actually, look, it's a great emotional moment, but there's also a lot of ridiculousness in the fight. Like, especially that one point, like, I just have to bury my head in a pillow and scream when Obi-Wan and Anakin are standing in front of each other and they do the sword spin thing. And they just stand there for what feels like 5 minutes. Or despite the fact that at least 10 different points in this fight, somebody had higher ground than the other, but then they come to a point where they're literally standing 5 feet apart, but Obi-Wan is standing on a little bit of an incline. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. What the fuck are you talking about? Somebody's had the high ground at least 10 different times in this fight. I'll tell you my favorite moment of the prequels. And I definitely have a lot of moments in the prequels that I love. First of all, listen, I love the pod race. I love the pod race. It is one of the best sound design scenes I've ever seen in a movie. I think it's thrilling. I think it's exciting. The sound design is amazing. The music that goes along with it is great. I love the pod race. But my favorite scene out of all of them is the Obi-Wan Qui-Gon fight against Darth Maul. That to me, that had the drama, that had tragedy, that had the duel of the fates playing as they're fighting each other. I just love that fight scene. So when I watch The Phantom Menace, which is very rarely, but when I do, I watch the opening scene when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon go aboard the Trade Federation's ship and fight their way through it. Then I fast forward to the pod race, and then I fast forward to that lightsaber duel. That's my favorite. All right, what's next?
It wasn't the, as you know, our blockade is perfectly legal.
As you know, our blockade.
As you know, our blockade is perfectly legal.
Did you ever see the Phantom edit where they changed their voices to actually alien languages?
Oh, no.
So much better. Because I remember when that first came out and there was all this stuff was like, that's kind of racist. You have
It is. Now that I watch it. But...
And I tried to defend it at first. Like, I'm like, no. He's just trying to come up with something that sounds alien. And the more I'd watch it, we must move quickly. It will disrupt all communications down there. I'm like,
it's like just as
there's no getting around this. This is racist as fuck.
as City Walk. It's just as bad as City Walk.
Welcome to Shitty Walk. It's pretty damn bad. It's pretty damn bad. All right, what's next?
Scott Brown says, saw Matrix, and it had things I liked and a lot of things I didn't. I liked Henwick as Bugs and Mateen as Morpheus, but I really think you could have done this story without Neo and Trinity, and the conflict was never made clear at all. Isn't there peace now?
Yeah, that is a problem. Okay, I got another problem, by the way.
Six more. 6 more problems.
No, I've got another problem, by the way. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure out what I'm doing. So out of nowhere, my mouse has died.
Oh my God.
This is a fun day.
I told you the Matrix does not like us speaking unkindly.
Change your review, John. Change your review on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm just
right now.
Where? Wait a second. How did I power? Is this thing USB powered? I cannot remember now.
I swear the Amazon guy is going to turn into Mr. Smith.
You know what? I know when I'm beat. I know when I'm beat. We're gonna call it. I can't even scroll.
Wow.
My mouse died out of nowhere. I can't scroll. I can't do any scrolling. So
Kim can read the questions if you want.
Yeah, but people deserve to see their question up on screen.
True.
People deserve to see.
Do you
their
need
question
batteries right quick?
I don't know if this thing takes What, Ray? You have the same mouse. You got the RX Master, right? I mean,
right.
Is this USB powered or does it take batteries?
You know what? I haven't changed out the battery on mine yet because mine lasts so much longer than yours. I don't know.
It's USB.
Yeah. Just plug it in.
Let me see if I can just plug it in and get some
Plug
power
it
going
in.
on.
Plug it in.
Let's see. I don't even know if it's actually out of battery or not, but
Nope.
I got it plugged in now.
Yeah.
And I can make it move now that I plugged
in. Back to the program.
Technology.
Back to the program. All right. Sorry, what were you whose question did you just read?
That was Scott Brown, and he was talking about a few things he didn't like about The Matrix.
Oh, yeah. No, God, man. I could sit here for a while and give you a litany list of all the things I didn't like about The Matrix. So I'm with you, Scott. I feel you. All right, what's next?
Scott Brown also says, how do directors like the Wachowskis and Tim Story keep getting work? These are the 2 worst directors working in Hollywood right now. They put out garbage after garbage, but somehow studios keep giving them money and saying, here, go ruin another franchise.
I like this question. First of all, I've always wondered about this too. How do terrible people or terrible like
terrible people,
not terrible people,
terrible people,
not
They're
terrible
good
people,
people.
but why do they keep getting?
I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to the Wachowskis, these are still the people who made The Matrix, one of the most iconic, beloved. Certainly sci-fi franchises of all time that people love. The Matrix. That's going to get you far. And, they did this other thing. I didn't like Sense8 all that much, but it had its fans. It definitely had its fans.
Was that the one movie on Netflix?
No, it was a show. It was a show. So then they also did Speed Racer, which I thought was terrible.
Oh.
But it has its fans. Speed Racer has its fans. So that will carry you a long time and get you a lot of benefit of the doubt, especially if you're coming back to do Matrix again. So I get it. I understand why that got made. I don't think Tim's Story is as bad as people make him out to be honest with you. I really don't.
What did he make?
He made like the original Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, I think he's always shown promise. I really do. I didn't like the original Fantastic Four movies, but still, I think he's shown promise. But so it's 2 different things. When you're the Wachowskis, you got that big thing you can always lean back on. Like, I'm the one who did The Matrix. And that's going to get you indoors. That's going to get you through a lot of doors. With Tim's Story, I mean, I don't have right connections. People believe that he's got the right vision, stuff like that. And honestly, I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. So that's just me. All right, what's next?
Willow says, I hope you and Ray and Kimberly all had a wonderful Christmas.
I did.
Thank you.
I tried watching Matrix Resurrections. I actually enjoyed the first half an hour and found it quite comedic, probably unintentionally, but couldn't get through the rest of the movie. Let me see here. I know that you haven't liked anything the Wachowskis did after The Matrix, and I'm in the same boat. But have you seen their earlier film, Bound? If so, what did you think of that movie?
I ain't gonna lie. I watched Bound for all the wrong reasons.
Who was in it?
It's Jennifer Tilly, Gina Gershon, Joe Pantoliano from Matrix. He played Cypher in Matrix. And basically, like this, I can't remember how old this movie was, but I was younger. And Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon were so sexy. And me as a kid watching this, and they played a lesbian couple in love with each other. One's like an ex-con and it's got this girlfriend. They try to figure out a way to screw over the mob and things like that. But it was just hot and sexy, right? For the kid, I'm like, like I'm totally immature kid. It is. I'm not
Twilight boy.
Twilight boy.
I don't know why that came up.
Where'd that come from?
Why?
Yeah, but I mean, I can sit here and deny it, but it's true. I was just like a freaking horned up kid going like, this is so sexy.
So story-wise, it was good then.
Story-wise, it was good. But yeah. So it's hard for me. I watched it again, 5 or 6 years ago. I watched it again. It's like, oh, you know what? This is actually a good movie. It's not just Bobby. There's actually a good movie too. But yes, I liked Bound. All right, what's next?
Clay Woodley says, hey, John, hope you had a great Christmas and saw No Way Home last week. And I had a blast. It was great to see the theaters packed again. Hopefully this is a sign that things are starting to turn around for movie theaters.
Oh, here's hoping. Yeah, but with everything going on right now, I don't know. It might be short-lived, but here's hoping. Here's hoping we find a way through this. All right, what's next?
Clay Woodley says, also, John, what movies are you looking forward to the most in 2022? For me, a few that come to mind are Doctor Strange, The Batman, Top Gun, and Ambulance.
Well, I mean, I think The Batman, here's the thing. I'm so terrible with movie dates that I need to sit down with a list in front of me about what's coming out in 2022. I was not excited about Top Gun until they showed us like 15 minutes of it at CinemaCon last year, or a few months ago, I should say. I couldn't believe how good it was, what I saw. So I'm super stoked for that, but easily my most anticipated is The Batman. That's the one, like, again, all due respect to Doctor Strange 2, which I'm very excited about. All due respect for whenever Thor's coming out. I'm very excited about that. And Aquaman but The Batman is what I am most excited about right now. All right, what's next?
The Greatest Showman says, I'm not a big fan of musicals and I'm interested in West Side Story, but I saw an article on CNBC this morning with just 36.6 million in ticket sales. West Side Story is officially a box office bomb. At least it made more than The Matrix.
Well, it made more than The Matrix in its entire run, and Matrix's only first week, but Matrix is going to make more money worldwide. It made more money than West Side Story already. Look, I've been telling everybody for a year, West Side Story, no one's going to see West Side Story. I've been saying this. I've been singing this song forever. That, like, I love Steven Spielberg. He is the GOAT. He's the greatest movie maker of all time. But it's West Side Story. It's a remake of a 1961 musical. Who's interested in that? And I've been saying forever, this is not going to make money at the box office. It's still the best film of the year. It is the best film of the year, but it's absolutely a financial flop. No doubt about it. But it's still the best movie of the year. All right, what's next?
Dangerous D says, hi, John. A release date of April 19th, 2022 on HBO Max for the Batman movie. A theatrical release will be on March. Plus, Deadline says the Discovery Warner Media merger was granted antitrust clearance by the European Commission. Discovery expects to close the deal mid-2022.
Yeah, which would be great. It'd be great that they finally get this all signed, sealed, deliver, and move forward with what their new direction for Warner Brothers is going to be. I'm very excited about that. All right, what's next?
Jenna Rose says, hi, John. I just watched No Way Home for the third time, and I'm excited to see the next MCU Spider-Man movie. Who would you like to see Peter fight next? I'd love to see him team up with Daredevil and fight Kingpin. Love the show and bring on the filthy.
Thank you so much for that, Jenna. Nah, not Kingpin. I mean, not this Kingpin. I never usually care about who's the next villain because what I have learned over the years is that it doesn't matter who you make the next villain in a superhero movie, because all that matters is if it's a well-written character. I've seen amazing villains in these films who nobody have ever really talked about or heard about, and they end up great. I've seen the best comic book villains in history be awful. So I always go back to this one, Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is undisputedly one of the greatest comic book villains in history. And they've done 4 movies with him? It's never worked. And so it doesn't matter what character they pick. All that matters is do you have a writer who's going to write a really compelling character either way? So I'm totally open to whoever the next villains will be. I mean, first of all, I want to find out if the next Spider-Man movie is going to be in the MCU or in the Sonyverse. But after that, it doesn't matter. As long as they write it well, then all will be well. All will be well. All right, what's next?
Just Your Average Jose says, speculation time. Spider-Man No Way Home made $250 million plus during this pandemic. If the movie opened in normal times, does it get to close to $400 million opening? The answer, of course, is we'll never know. Personally,
we know the answer is no.
I don't think so, but it definitely would have beat Endgame.
No, it wouldn't have beat Endgame.
You don't think so? Had it not been a pandemic?
No, I think everybody got out of their chairs to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. It wasn't going to touch Endgame. It just wasn't going to get close to Endgame. It would have made more than 250 million. Hell, it might have even touched 300, but it wasn't going to beat Endgame. There's no reality in which it would have done that. Now, again, Just Your Average Jose points out the obvious answer. We'll never know. We'll never know. It would have done better, but no, it wouldn't have touched Endgame. Just not going to happen. All right, what's next?
Andrew Mark Birdson says, hi, John and crew. Love the show. I was wondering if you've seen the petitions for the Amazing Spider-Man 3 to happen.
Listen, right now, petitions are stupid. Just throwing that out there. Okay, please continue.
Personally, I would love a conclusion, especially with the big changes that will now be in the universe, or even a cameo in future movies.
Look, number one, movie petitions are stupid. Number two, even when they're for things that I want. I have been wanting an Amazing Spider-Man 3 forever. I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I love The Amazing Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a drop.
We know you secretly signed a petition.
No, I have signed no petition. I love the first Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. That movie's amazing. I love that iteration of the character. Yes, Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a drop in quality. No argument from me. But I have always wanted a third one. Always wanted a third one. And nobody likes the Amazing Spider-Man movies, John. And now I'm seeing everybody jumping on the bandwagon.
I know, it's not funny.
Which is good for me. I'm fine with that. Get on this bandwagon. There's plenty of room. Come on board.
I actually bought that Blu-ray when it first came out. I love that first Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, that first one.
I only have two
great.
Blu-rays, Homecoming and Amazing Spider-Man. Those are the two Blu-rays I own
really?
And bought and chose to own. But you're going to hate this. I got them with the 3D. Because I still love my 3D TV.
Ray's got the 3D.
Yeah, 3D TV, baby.
I still remember when you were going to get that. I'm like, why are you buying a 3D TV? But you were like, no,
yeah, I'm getting all these discs, and now I don't even use it anymore. The glasses are just anywhere. I can't even find the glasses to it. But yeah. Know I love a movie when I buy the Blu-ray. So I got to say, I have The Amazing Spider-Man and Homecoming. And I'm going to own this new one, too.
What's next?
McNeil says, hey, John and crew, you mentioned recently that you were excited for Don't Look Up and said it has the potential to be a top-tier Netflix film. It has obviously divided both critics and audiences, but I loved it. What are your thoughts on it? Thanks.
Again, so many people I know saying they hated it turned me off of watching it, so I haven't even watched it. It just, when a movie, there's a movie I'm really looking forward to seeing, and then I start hearing really crappy things about it, I'm like, I don't want to break my heart. And then, so I just kind of avoid it and I don't watch it. So I've been hearing more people lately saying they like it. So I think Anna and I are going to give it a shot. All right, what's next?
Dr. Nova says, the pandemic has made me change what kinds of movies I even want to see in theaters, even when it's safe to do so. Now, instead of going once a week, like in 2017, I'm going to be going 3 to 4 times a year. Also, I've started other hobbies that I can do at home.
Yes, that's the thing. The reality with the pandemic is you got to evaluate what is worth you taking a risk for. And again, everybody has different standards of that and what works for them or not. And I never hold against anybody. Look, if you're trying to take care of yourself, and if you feel most safe doing a certain thing, then you do what you feel is safe for yourself. All right, what's next?
Devon H says, "Hey, John, everyone is talking about the amazing success of No Way Home, but very few people are talking about the incredible success of the Demon Slayer Mugen Train film last year that broke numerous box office records during the height of the pandemic."
It didn't really do all that great. I mean, it made about 30-something million in the North American box office. Now, it did great in Japan. I'm always a little bit dubious of a locally made movie and what its reported box office in its own market is, to be honest with you. But it made like, allegedly, it made like over 300 million in Japan. Japan's not that big of a movie market, but I mean, it made a lot of movie in Japan. A lot of money in Japan, I should say. But yeah, North America made like 30-something $million. I think it's because audiences here just generally don't care about it very much. All right, what's next?
Chuck the Mystery says, "Hey, John, I always get excited when there's a Batman film on the way, but my excitement is through the roof on this one. That third trailer was unbelievable. I think one of the most exciting things this film appears to tease is the Wayne family history. If this story becomes personal for Bruce, the stakes will be higher than ever been for a live-action Batman. The intellectual battle with Riddler, the beginnings of Bat/Cat romance, Colin Farrell. My God, is it March yet?"
I'm telling you what, I am losing my mind for this movie.
So excited.
I mean, the only thing that could have got me more excited about it is if Ben Affleck was writing and directing it. That would have been the perfect scenario for me. But if it can't be Ben Affleck, Matt Reeves is a great choice to do it. This has everything I've not seen or even heard. One mildly concerning thing. Every ounce, every frame of footage I have seen has done nothing but build my excitement for this. And I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait. All right, what's next?
Garden Variety Vagabond says, and this is one of two, "On Christmas Day, I watched the Boston Pops holiday concert. It was conducted by Keith Lockhart. During it, they played a theme from Home Alone. I looked it up to confirm, and it was written and conducted by John Williams."
Yep.
But we mostly forget that he also was the conductor of the Boston Pops for 15 years, starting in 1980, following the great Arthur Fiedler until 1995. Since 1930, there have only been 3 conductors: Fiedler, Williams, and now Keith Lockhart.
That is good company to keep.
Cool,
yeah,
man.
I remember when John went. I remember watching some of the Boston Pop specials with John Williams. He still goes back and conducts the Boston Pops once in a while for fun stuff like that. I mean, the career of John Williams is just like unbelievable. Thanks for throwing that in, Garden Variety. All right, what's next?
Alejandro says, "One problem with live action Batman, even in the Nolan films, is that he looks, in my opinion, absurd when he comes out dressed like that in broad daylight, surrounded by normal people. Reeves keeping him in the dark, rainy, grainy footage really helps, in my opinion." Thoughts?
Okay, one of the challenges you're always going to face if you're trying to do a grounded, gritty superhero movie is that there's some inherently absurd things about superheroes, including a ridiculous-looking car, even when it's as cool as the Tumbler in the Nolan films. The ridiculous costumes.
God, I love that car.
The whatever. I mean, yeah. Like, okay, look, if we're trying to be as grounded and real as gritty as possible, a dude running around the street in that outfit is ridiculous. It just is. It's ridiculous. And you're right. Keeping it in the grays and the shadows and the darks, it takes on a totally different feel, a totally different mood. Suddenly that's terrifying. Suddenly that's awe-inspiring. But yeah, if that Robert Pattinson, Twilight Boy, if that Robert Pattinson walks into a bank in the middle of the afternoon, "I'd like to make a deposit, please." Yes, he's going to look utterly ridiculous. But that's part of the thing with any superhero movie that we're going to get at any time. All right, what's next?
Zach Mo says, "Hi, John and gang. Wondering if you noticed reports saying the footage we've seen in the trailers for the Book of Boba Fett is only from the first half of the first episode.
Yes.
If this is true, what do you think they have in store for us?"
Greatness.
Bum, 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 bum.
Greatness.
Oh, man. Did the Rock voice come out?
They will be... What's the word I'm looking for? They will be saturated.
Oh, saturated.
In awesome. Saturated with awesome.
Ooh.
That is what I'm expecting saturation of awesomeness. All right, what's next?
Why you gotta add the extra? Brian Solis says, instead of writing John, Kim, and Ray, I'm redubbing you guys Team JKR, pronounced Joker, to save characters. So good morning, Joker. Now go light something on fire and make it official. Also, how do we get Ray in a chef hat and apron every show? Hashtag Pleasure the Chef.
Ooh.
Pleasure the Chef. Is that like Homie the Clown, or is that like a call to a verb? Pleasure the Chef. Because I have no interest in that.
I have no,
Homie the Clown.
I have no interest in that
That's
whatsoever.
done in the privacy of my own home.
Look, homie, don't play that.
All right, what's next?
Joseph Curtis says, after watching the new Batman trailer, a friend and I have a theory. Riddler is Batman's brother.
I've heard this theory myself.
The hints like the sins of the father. The scene where Bruce says, you lied to me, Alfred. I know it's a stretch, but would love to hear your thoughts.
No, I have heard this theory.
I have not heard that theory
I have heard this theory that
yet.
the whole thing seems to be tied to the Batman, to the Wayne family.
Oh.
Everything seems to focus on Wayne. And it's like, when is it a lie? Why do you lie? Like, there's been a big theory out there. They're going to retcon it a bit and say this is actually, that the Riddler is actually a Wayne. And he might actually be Batman's brother. And if they do, that's pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I wondered about that line too, what it had to deal with. There had to be something there. And that guy just
absolutely love that.
Love the idea.
I absolutely love that.
And now, again, I think it's probably only a 20% chance that's what they're doing. But if they do, I think that's pretty interesting. All right, what's next?
Wes Maurer said, hey, John and team. Hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. Just wondering if you've seen Dope Sick yet. I binged it over the weekend, and it was shocking, but very, very good.
Started to watch it, and I had to cut away from it, and I've never gotten back onto it yet.
Why?
But Michael Keaton and everything, too. Yeah, I'm very, very, I'm down to see it, but I just don't. You have no idea how little time I have.
There's just so much. No, I do. There's so much to watch. I haven't finished it. But let me tell you, it kind of scared me because I had a horrible accident straight out of college when this started happening. And watching that, I was like, this reminds me so much of after my accident, the things doctors were saying and how they were pushing things. And it really brought me to tears because the things that happened and the way they tell the story, they kind of jump around. And at first it gave me a headache. But then I was like, you know what? I like this format. And Michael Keaton, he hasn't made me cry in like a really long time. His performance brought me to tears.
Nice.
It is really, really, really good.
All right, what's next?
Williams Klinsky says, hi, John and crew. Found your channel during all the Movie Pass drama.
Wow.
And first time tipper. They got some angry John there. Just rewatched the movie Buffaloed today and definitely one of my favorites. Was wondering if you've seen it and what you think about it, and bring on the filthy.
That's the one.
What's that?
It was one of the streaming movies. It's like,
Let me look this up.
I think it's like, it's in this town. She's trying to get out of this town. I think it's part of the repo business. I'm trying to remember Zoe.
Oh, Zoe Deutsch.
Yes, Zoe Deutsch.
Her mom is Back to the Future.
So
yeah.
I didn't watch it though. I remember I saw it. I mean, I saw it like that was there, but I never did watch it myself. I've never heard anybody talk about it, to be honest with you, William Klinsky. So thanks for the recommendation on that. I appreciate that. All right, what's next?
Dr. Nova says, in 2018, I saw 68 movies that came out that year. 2019, 60, 2020, 15, 2021, 6. If this isn't proof of the importance of the theatrical experience for movies, I don't know what is. I've seen 98 movies this year for the first time, but new movies, I don't care.
I mean, look, obviously, Dr. Nova,
wow,
your personal philosophy and feelings on that are very similar to mine, but they're not shared by everybody. But yes, there are people out there. It's like, I mean, if I want to watch a new movie, I want to see it in the theater. I want to see it the way it's supposed to be seen. I want to see it the way it's meant to be seen. I want to see it in the way that gives the best experience. And if you can't do that, I'll go watch things I've already seen, or I'll go watch some older stuff. But I mean, again, you and I are not reflective of everybody, but it is good knowing there are other people like that out there. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on that, man. All right, what's next?
Rob Mack says, On the TV spoiler discussion, do you think that there's a difference between a football game or an episode of Sons of Anarchy, which have an on-air time, versus streaming shows like Hawkeye or Stranger Things, which are available on demand? In my opinion, in the case of the former, the onus is on the viewer to avoid YouTube, etc. While for the latter, I think it's on everyone else to avoid openly talking about it. 24 hours, maybe?
Nope, I disagree. And there is no difference, because even in like going back 10 years, even before the major streaming services were a big thing, everybody had a very practical, easy way to record their stuff. Whether it was a TiVo or PVR or whatever else, everybody can record their stuff and watch it later. It's no difference. Look, once something is put out to the public, like a movie theater is different. That's not out to the public. You got to actually leave your house. You got to make sure you have scheduled like 4 hours of free time that you can leave your house, travel to the theater, go in, watch the movie, travel home, get babysitters, do whatever it is you got to do. That's a different thing. But once something is made open to the public, anybody, wherever you are right now, can stop what you're doing and watch this if you want. Whether it's an NFL football game, whether it's an episode of Friends, whether it's the latest episode of what's a big streaming show right now? I don't know.
Bridgerton, I don't know.
I don't know. 1883 or the newest episode of Hawkeye or whatever. Once that is out and made public, it's not other people's responsibility to hide the final score of the football game from you. It's your responsibility to avoid it until you can get home and watch it yourself. That's on you. Once something is made public, it ain't other people's responsibility to protect you from that. I go back again to the story about when I was watching Sons of Anarchy and I got spoiled because I couldn't watch the episode where Opie died. I couldn't watch it live. And it's my own damn fault because I was going, I'm just on Twitter, even though the latest episode of Sons of Anarchy is now aired and it's out there in the public for people to see. And if I come across people talking about it, and people should, once it's made public, people should be free to talk about it. Now, I personally still want to give a little bit of a buffer, but that's only because I choose to do that, not because I think there's a requirement out there. So like when I put out the Kingpin thing, I didn't do it at 10 in the morning, just 10 hours later. I waited till like 1 in the afternoon. So I gave it over 12 hours. I gave it half a day. I gave it 13 hours before we did that. But honestly, my personal opinion is there's no difference between that and a football game. A football game is broadcast publicly. You can watch it. And once that game is over and the final score is out, ESPN shouldn't have to wait 6 hours until they report the score. People on Twitter and on social media shouldn't have to wait to talk about the outcome of the game, just in case there's some people out there who haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Once it's made public, the onus is on us as fans to avoid social media until we can watch it. So that's my. Now I know not everybody agrees with me on that, but that's always been my view. So when I got spoiled about Opie, I knew right away that was my responsibility, nobody else's. But that's my take on it. All right, what's next?
Sheriff says, I was rewatching Spider-Man 3 and I noticed the main bouncer in the jazz club is the same actor as the main henchman, while Tony is captured in Iron Man 3, the one with the ponytail that could randomly know the distance between major U.S. cities. LOL. Random.
I had never noticed. I love it when people pick out little things like that. I have never noticed that at all. Now, next time I watch that, I'm going to have to keep an eye open for that. All right. Thanks for sharing that, Sheriff. Appreciate that, man. All right. What's next?
Annie Gamer Review says, now we officially have 3 composers who have worked on both Batman and Spider-Man. Danny Elfman, Hans Zimmer, and Michael Giacchino. Thank you very much. Given how great Elfman and Zimmer's score was for Batman, I can't wait to see what Giacchino brings to the table.
Giacchino has really been making a name for himself the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, he was caught up in a very, very unenviable situation with Rogue One. There was very, very limited time. He got in there, did something, whatever. It is what it is. But he has been doing some really, really good work. It is funny, though, that there are only so many names in this business. I mean, there are a lot of people doing it, but really, when you think about composers, you think Elfman. You think, obviously, the GOAT, John Williams. You think Hans Zimmer. And Michael Giacchino is now one of the names. We've had Howard Shore and things like that. But now Giacchino is really put himself in that conversation. And I know some people have mixed feelings about the new Star Trek movies, but I think Giacchino was the one who composed. I think the new score for the Star Trek movies, the main theme of the J.J. Abrams era, is fantastic music. Absolutely fantastic. He's made a name for himself, and he's put himself up there in the pantheon. All right, what's next?
Ben Burnside says, hey guys, I saw Encanto yesterday, and even though I might not even see 10 movies this year, this is probably my movie of the year. I was floored with everything. The story, characters, setting, music, variety of colors, mood. It really was an achievement in my opinion. Really good family story.
I thought it was a charming little film. It's not going to end up in my top films of the year list, but I walked out of that movie with a smile on my face. I really did. And I've hummed, We Don't Talk About Bruno in my head a lot. But it is a charming, delightful little film that I enjoyed quite a bit. All right, what's next?
Miles says, do you think Mahershala Ali playing two MCU characters is really harder to explain than Norton / Ruffalo or Howard / Cheadle? In real life, if you told me Richard Armitage and Hugh Jackman are the same actor playing two characters, I'd believe it. Thanks.
Yeah, it absolutely is a different thing. Recasting a role is not an uncommon, it's an easy thing. Having the same actor playing multiple roles in the same that are supposed to be completely different characters, that does create, number one, from a continuity point of view, it creates a massive continuity error. And number two, it does create more confusion for the audience. I really do believe it is a different thing. So yes, I don't believe in the same cinematic universe that that Cottonmouth can be the exact same guy playing Blade, especially when they look completely identical. You can't have, who was I going next? I forget where I was going next with that. But yeah, I do think it's a different thing. I think it's a horse of a different color. All right, what's next?
I have a quick question. I'm trying to remember. Is Djimon Hounsou?
Djimon
Hounsou. Sorry. He's playing a different character in Guardians than he is in Captain Marvel. Is he? Or is that the same?
I think it's
the same character.
Yeah. It is?
It's the same character.
Okay. Yeah. I was always confused about that because I thought they were doing the same thing.
He's also an Aquaman.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He is. All right. Alston Matthews Mustache says Jennifer Walters and Matt Murdock are lawyers and are joining the MCU. Arsham is coming back to bring judgment. Coincidence? I think not. Maybe this whole thing will play out like the final episode of Seinfeld.
Never bring up the final episode of Seinfeld. Look, it's hard it's sticking the landing. One of the greatest examples of that is Seinfeld, one of the most beloved television series of all time, with a terrible finale. I mean, that last thing with the judge, and it was so bad. All right, what's next?
Nothing But the Batman says, oh boy, John, with the new trailer and Empire Magazine, loads of new info has come out and questions about the Batman. So let's get into it because I know you are loving it as much as I am. The first thing is that I have an opinion that the Batman will not be as successful as Spider-Man box office was. However, I believe that this film will have a strong chance of having universal acclaim while Spider-Man leaned more to fan service. Batman looks like it could have a masterclass of storytelling and acting. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, if trailers are trailers. Let's be very, very clear about that. We have all seen many fantastic trailers to movies that end up being total shit, right? And that could be the case with Batman. Look, but does it look really good so far? Absolutely. But and will Batman make as much money as Spider-Man No Way Home? Absolutely not. No, it's not. Never in a million years.
God, no.
But, I mean, let's not just write off that Spider-Man is just empty calories. Spider-Man's getting amazing critical response as well. Look, I have some issues with Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's cinema. It's a wonderful movie. And not just from the whatever fan service this and fan service that. When you look past the surface level fan service stuff they do, and they do a bunch of surface level fan service stuff, but it's done well. But when you go look beyond it, the foundational aspects they put into great narrative storytelling, great character development, real emotionalism in it. They have done a great job of making a fine motion picture. Not just a great comic book movie, they've made a fine motion picture. So I don't think we should be so quick just to glance over that. Do I think that The Batman has the potential to be a better movie than Spider-Man No Way Home? Yes. Do I think it will be? Impossible to say. I don't need it to be better than Spider-Man No Way Home. I just need it to be really good. Just be really good, and I'll be totally happy. All right, what's next?
John, someone in the chat brought up Gemma-chan or
Gemma-chan.
Gemma-chan.
Yeah,
maybe that was the one that you thought about, the two Marvel
roles? No, because the Gemma-chan situation is different, because in Captain Marvel, she was all caked up in makeup to look like a complete alien species. Like, nobody could look at that and say, oh, that's Gemma-chan.
Okay.
Right? Whereas in Eternals, she looked completely different. So that's fine. Like, that part's fine. Like, for instance, Jaimon Hansu, who played the leader of one of the underwater kingdoms in Aquaman, he could totally play another character in the DCEU if he wanted to that looked different than that. Cottonmouth and Blade are going to look extremely similar. I mean, they're very, very similar. All right, what's next?
Nothing But the Batman says, in the Empire magazine article, I read that Bruce and Alfred have a very strained relationship. They barely speak to each other and almost hate each other. It seemed like with Bruce being a billionaire hermit, very isolated, even to Alfred. While we have seen this to a degree in past movies, it seems this film will take it to the extreme where Bruce has almost fallen into a very dark place and considers himself alone, not even trusting the only family he has. What do you think?
I don't want to read too much into a few comments from an interview because that can take you down the wrong path. But I will say this, that also plays into the whole thing about the Riddler actually being a Wayne. Because what else would piss off Bruce more than find out he had a brother and Alfred knew it the whole time and kept it secret? I mean, that would be pretty badass. But no, I love the idea of bringing something new to it, because in every iteration, Bruce and Alfred are tight as anything. To have them actually having a legitimately strained relationship, that would be a very interesting dynamic, and then see that come together at the end. So I don't know. We'll see where they go with that. All right, what's next?
Okay, Nothing But the Batman says, as much as I love this new trailer, John, I did have an issue with it. And my issue was it clearly gave away that Gotham gets flooded by probably the Riddler. I feel they could have held that back and kept it a surprise in theater.
I don't think that's an issue at all, to be honest with you. Like, you're looking at those brief frames out of any real context. We don't know the context of that. That could honestly be anything. So I wouldn't worry about that one at all. Not even in the least. All right, what's next?
All right, Nothing But the Batman says, John, it seems like with every Batman trailer, we get the one thing that just keeps blowing me away is the angle and amazing shots we get. I mean, literally, they're insane, especially watching the angle of Penguin's car just flipping down the highway.
Look, one of the things that you can tell from this trailer is that the cinematography in this movie is going to be awesome.
Some point, yeah.
I mean, everything from the use of the color palette, from the angles of their shots, from when they move from wide shot to tight. It feels like, from what we've seen in the trailers so far, that the cinematography will be great. And because the visceralness of those action sequence, whether Batman is beating the crap out of somebody with the hilt of a gun, or he's got that gangster down the ground, he's just beating the hell out of them. They know when to just keep certain things in frame. I think the cinematography is going to be great. All right, what's next?
Scott Brown says, wanted to recommend Undone. It's an animated limited series on Prime, done in the style of Scanner Darkly. It stars Bob Odenkirk and Rosa Salazar. It's about a daughter going through a mental breakdown and starts to communicate with her dead father. It's great.
I'll be honest with you, Scott, I've never even heard of it. I have never heard of Undone. Have either of you guys heard of this?
No.
No one's heard of it? All right.
No.
All right. I'll keep that on my radar now,
Check
Scott. Thanks for putting that on everybody's radar, dude. All right. What's next?
Nothing But the Batman says, one of the major signs that told me the Suicide Squad would be good was that they were already moving ahead with a spinoff, Peacemaker. On it, before we saw the movie, TSS, now that Robert Pattinson has pretty much said he's going to do 3 Batman films. Let's see. And with a Penguin and Gotham Police spinoff confirmed for Matt Reeves' universe. Before we have even seen the Batman, I think it clearly shows that WB has a lot of confidence in this film and sees it as a winner. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but does that ultimately mean anything? I mean, look, it absolutely tells me that Warner Brothers has confidence in this Batman movie. It does. But let's not forget the lesson of the Universal Monster Universe. They had their Mummy movie coming with Tom Cruise. They had their Johnny Depp movie lined up. They had their Russell Crowe movie lined up. They had their had the Javier Bardem one lined up. They had multiple Mummy sequels all planned. They put out these big promo pictures. Oh, they had a universe of confidence in it. What happened? Mummy came out, fell on its face. The whole thing is gone. Again, to quote the wonderful poet laureate Michael Tyson, everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth. So while it is definitely good to see them having confidence in it, I have learned not to put a lot of stock in that just yet, but here's hoping. Fingers crossed. All right, what's next?
Nothing But the Batman says, in the Empire magazine article, I saw Robert Pattinson has seen the full film already, and his response is this rated PG-13? Honestly, everything I see makes me feel like it's rated R, but I'm sure it won't be. But I bet Matt Reeves really pushes the PG-13 to its limits.
There's still a fundamental misunderstanding out there about what PG-13 is. You can do almost anything in a PG-13 movie as long as you don't show a dick and you don't show a lot of blood. You keep out gratuitous sex and you keep out a lot of actual blood, you can do almost anything in these movies. Almost anything. I mean, we see Batman beating the living crap out of people. Yeah. It's PG-13. You can do that in a PG-13. Don't drop a lot of F-bombs. Don't show boobs. And you can be PG-13. That's why there will never be a necessity to have a Batman movie rated R. There will never be a necessity for that. Not to tell a good, true Batman film, you don't need it. And I think I think this movie is going to be another example. Remember, The Dark Knight was rated PG-13. This is going to be another great example to people that you can do a lot of stuff. PG-13 doesn't really mean anything, so I'm perfectly good with it. All right, what's next?
Nothing But the Batman says, John, while I believe this Batman film is looking to be insane, I do have a few concerns, and I don't know if you shared these concerns or had others. My first is Catwoman. Excuse me. I've never seen a Catwoman on the big screen I liked, but Zoe Kravitz is looking to be very promising, to where I actually do want to see her in the role compared to Anne Hathaway. And that god-awful Halle Berry one. My other concern is the political message of the film 5 years ago, that this wouldn't be on my mind of late. But of late, some comic book, there's a third one, may have taken a stronger political stances and messages to where it actually hurt the film, in my opinion, like Wonder Woman 1984. Do not get me wrong, the Batman story is meant to revolve around politics, about corruption, etc. And I just feel that it's very easy to upset a ton of your audience in today's atmosphere. Regardless of anyone's political views, I just don't want to see a film that tries so hard to send a message that it upsets half its audience. I could just be going away off into the deep here, but John, after Wonder Woman 1984. But anyways, John, those are my two main concerns. What are your thoughts? Share them or have different ones, or just think it's going to be a kick-ass movie all around.
Here's the thing. If you don't understand that comic books have always been inherently political, then you've never understood the comic books. If you don't understand that the X-Men themselves are about racial prejudices and other forms of prejudices in society and stuff like that, then you don't understand Stan Lee. If you don't understand that one of the core things that Schuster and everybody, when they created Superman, was about an alien an immigrant coming into a new world, and that new world becoming better because of him being there, then you don't understand Superman or where Superman came from. If you don't understand that a lot of going back to the history of Stan Lee, that a lot of his characters were even created. I mean, go back and read a lot of stuff about Stan Lee and how he created certain characters and stuff like that, was about furthering messages of social justice and equality and fairness and stuff like that. These have always been.
We were just talking about Professor X and Magneto and how they were like Malcolm X and King, Dr.
Martin
King.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I mean, and the whole idea about like exposing prejudices in society and stuff like that, and how you encounter those prejudices and all that kind of stuff. You go back to a lot of the characters created by Marvel and DC. They were based on the foundation of trying to promote social ideas and justices and things like that. This has always been a part of the comic books. And if you don't know that, you simply don't understand the comics and where they came from. I mean, Star Wars has always fundamentally, read anything about George Lucas and what he was doing when he was creating Star Wars. Star Wars is basically about fascism and stuff like that, confronted with all that kind of stuff. Star Trek is about a socialist utopia that is furthered by acceptance and science and exploration. A socialist utopia based on science and exploration. That's what Star Trek was created by Gene Roddenberry. I mean, so look, I'm not faulting. You know me, I hate preachy movies. Even when movies are preaching things I already agree with, like I don't like them, right? That's why I was in seminary and I hated faith-based movies. I think faith-based movies are crap. And I thought that right from seminary. I just don't like preachy movies one way or the other. But that being said, when a comic book movie has an underlying political message, that's just it being true to its roots in comic book history. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still don't like movies getting particularly political, but I also believe this. I believe there are movies that aren't all that political, but people make political deals out of them. When really there's not a political thing there. And I think everybody's guilty of that to a degree. But I'd say if you're already worried about it being political, listen, if you're worried about a comic book movie promoting an idea of social justice and equality and speaking against prejudices and things like that, then then you're not looking for comic book. You're looking for something else. So again, I don't really care. It's not something that I look for one way or the other in anything. When it's there, it doesn't excite me. When it's not there, it doesn't upset me. So I don't really care. But I would say, again, if you're looking for comic book movies to be devoid of anything that looks like what could be a political, what's the word I'm looking for? A political seed in today's environment. If you're looking for comic book movies not to address issues of equality and fairness and social justice and stuff like that, then again, I would say you just don't understand the history of the comic books. They're probably going to be there, but you also want to do them in a balanced, you want to do them in a way that doesn't feel like it's being preachy, because nothing bothers me more than when a movie feels preachy. But yeah, it just is what it is. Anyway, that's my take on it for whatever it's worth. I'm sure everybody hates what I just said, and that's fine. I don't give a flying fuck if you like what I just said or not. But that's how I personally feel about it. I mean, it is what it is. All right, what's next?
Alexander says, greetings, gang. Thank you all for making my Amazon delivery job more tolerable. I love David Lynch, and my favorite TV show is the once critically acclaimed, now cult, Twin Peaks, and its follow-up, The Return. Curious as to all of your thoughts.
Way back in the day, I only ever watched like a couple of things of Twin Peaks. Never cared for it.
You didn't?
No, but a lot of people did, and I love that. I love that there's another cult kind of show out there that people really embrace and love. That's great. It wasn't for me back in the day. Now, granted, I've never gone back and tried it again, so I'm not saying it's shit. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it wasn't for me when I first tried it, but I love that there's got a really strong, rabid fan base, and I love that they did a return to it as well, no pun intended, because there are people who love it, so I think that's great. All right, last one of the day. What's next?
All right, this comes from Jonathan. He says, so we got possibly 2 Batmans, Keaton and Affleck, Zod and Fiora, 2 Flashes, maybe Supergirl, possibly Superman himself, and who knows what other cameos they're hiding. This Flash movie looks busy. Let's hope they know how to juggle characters.
Well, I mean, Supergirl is absolutely in. We've already seen the concept art. So, I mean, there's no question about that. She's absolutely in there. I'm still hoping Henry Cavill shows up. I mean, I can keep my fingers crossed.
There's a candle in the office that you guys don't know he's got lit for
a little shrine, if you will. Little picture of Henry in the Superman outfit with the word "The Flash" movie beside it, and I'm burning incense
to it every morning.
It's like, happen. Please happen. I'm trying to speak it into existence.
The incense of Cavill.
The incense of Cavill.
He lights it every morning.
Cavill as Superman. That's what I want. But look, I think Spider-Man No Way Home look, I've said for a long time, it does not matter how many characters are in a movie. We'll go back to Doctor Doom. We had Fantastic Four and 1 villain. That didn't make the movie good. We had X-Men with like 5 or 6 villains. That didn't make the movie bad. It was great. You had Infinity War that had Thanos, Maw, Proxima Midnight. I'm forgetting the names of the other 2. They had like 5 villains there. Did that make the movie bad? Nope. It doesn't matter how many characters you put in there. if they're handled right. It's like anything else in a movie. You can have, sarcasm in a movie. If you don't write it properly, it's going to be bad. If you write it properly, it's going to be great. You can have whatever. You can have multiple characters. If you write it well, if you balance them well, it's going to be perfectly fine. So I'm not worried about it, Jonathan. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see what they do with it. They've got a great director on board. Let's see if after 35 years, they can finally get this thing made and out in theaters, because I lost a lot of hope along the way, but I think this can be exciting. We'll see how they handle it. All right, guys. With that said, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the live comments and the questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you guys so very, very much for your support. Don't forget, the John Campea Show will be back again tomorrow. Tonight is game day, so we're going to be watching Boba Fett. You'll know we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow, too. Anyway, in the meantime, I want to thank Kimberly Ann Curran for being here. Kimberly, where can people find you online?
Hey, you guys, you can find me at What's Good Kimberly. It's Was Good Kimberly on Instagram.
Good, Kimberly.
And Ray Aura. Ray, where can people find you?
Ray Aura with the 0, not the O.
Just follow the baritone.
Yeah.
Follow the baritone. And of course, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You can see it right there at John Campea. That'll do it for us, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.